I mean, would we even need the document? Like, your accounts are probably logged into and everything, so we could just look there, right?
Ah, but you see, you're right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another session.
Boom.
Oh my goodness.
Annihilation.
Can we just give up now?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's just like do.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very distracted when you and I forgot that was the thing. That's my bad.
Let's do this. Let's always have like one of us say two.
No. We don't make plans. We don't plan this.
Fucking Asian.
I'm not saying I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm genuinely not.
Exactly
It's
why.
way better if we don't plan it. It's so much more fun. Like, because then if we nail it, if we nail it, no, if we nail it, it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome.
We've only nailed it like once.
And it was awesome.
It was pretty cool. Alright, last time on Tomb of Annihilation, you all had found a merit underneath a wall of force in a pit nearby where a treasure chest was underneath its feet. By learning to right the gods, which literally meant turning the statues to the right, and teleporting the merit out, you realize that you could force it onto the pedestal from which it had initially escaped from. After it was sealed away down into the pit once more, having perfectly solved the trap and taking no damage whatsoever, you all headed over into this large vault door, which had enough keys, eye sockets of sorts, that you happen to have all of. You inserted them all one by one. As the vault door opened, it became clear that the inside was like a temporal field that made the area inside go much slower than that outside. As you entered in, you took a nice long rest, and as you came the important eye of Zoltek, vaulted as it were, exalted, you may even say, the beholder dragon suddenly appeared, and the door was closed. Fighting the Eye Drake, you eventually defeated it by surviving its onslaught of various saves and strategizing to be able to get out of its anti-magical breath, along with some of its other beams that it's out to disintegrate you and stun you and really just do a whole bunch of incredibly obnoxious things. Until finally, you did defeat it. And then all around you inside of this nice vault is 600,000 gold pieces. There is, I believe, still 2 hours left on the outside.
Roughly, like minus about 10 minutes from what happened inside, yeah. Because it was 8 minutes for longest, right? And it was 2 hours left before we walked in, so.
Here's where you are. Alibaba is not here.
I am down for whatever. The O-Ball has told me that picking up the gold is decidedly the best option, I believe it said. So, I'm cool doing the gold. I don't actually care besides that, though.
Rose, are you even in Roll20?
Yeah.
I don't see you.
Are you?
I also don't see you.
Who?
Weird.
Rose.
Hold on. Let me refresh.
There you are.
By the way, we got chickens like yesterday, and they already laid 2 eggs.
Wow.
Has Russell been busy, or?
So hens don't actually need udders.
Yeah, it just matters whether the egg is fertilized or not, if it'll actually become a chicken.
Yeah, but fertilization is not necessary.
Yep.
Good.
I mean, did anyone else want to buy anything?
I was not really looking or thinking about much because I have everything I need, I think. So
I don't want a Ring of Three Wishes.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the things that was talking about getting.
Yeah, the plan I had set up was Black Dragon Helm and then 2 rings of 3 wishes,
I don't really have.
which we could all get with like half of the gold here, 300k.
Which would take what, like 9 minutes, right? From the
About, yeah.
Oval's wisdom.
I did like, I think Mark was basically the only person who responded to my proposed plan of action. Did anyone else even see that?
Yeah. I was on vacation. So
Okay.
That's fair. It's hard to decide if you want to slap a lich.
I have no opinion either way because I am fine with dealing with her later. I am also fine with dealing with her now.
I think she is more useful to us now, right now, alive than dead, for multiple reasons. One being she has control over the skeletons, which are probably keys in some way, shape, or form, and I think would make that particular solution significantly easier. Second, I don't think she necessarily has a way to heal or regain any HP, so we don't, especially because she can't be healed by positive energy anyway. So we don't have to worry about her somehow getting her spell slots and her health back. And I think she's also been a source of useful information thus far, and actually helped us solve multiple puzzles. So I think because we still have some obstacles in our way, I think she's better off alive at the moment.
I do not want to fight Felindra until after everything is settled.
And waiting until after everything is settled is the most dangerous thing with Valindra. I don't want her to get anywhere near the Soulmonger. I don't want her to learn anything about it, because that's how Soulmonger 2.0 gets made in Thay.
Well, I'll leave that for another adventure.
What a chaotic response. That's somebody else's problem.
Hey, to be fair, my character I think is chaotic good, so you know I'm.
Also, we were like, we came here because we got offered a job to deal with this continent Soulmonger, you know? Like...
Yeah, like who cares about what happens after? Like, come on. Like,
No,
come
so
ironically,
I
who cares?
I think we have enough tools at our disposal to prevent her from actually gaining information, and we are able to act fast enough. I think we have enough tools at our disposal. Or maybe we just wait until we're at the end of the traps. You know what I mean? Like, at least not now. I think she's still useful to us. You know, maybe once she figures out the key to these skeletons that she's controlling, and you know they're useful in some way. If they are useful in some way, and they open up a door or something like that, then she'll no longer be useful to us. But I think right now she's too useful to us to just kill her right here. We don't necessarily have to wait until after Serac, but we could, you know, at least wait a little bit. Though she would be useful for the Serac fight too.
Maybe Asteric will kill her. 2 birds with 1 stone.
True. I mean, fucking.
Like, I definitely think we should keep her for the Asteric fight.
I don't want
that
her
one-
in an,
that
I don't
one
want her
shine
in a
top
Serac fight either, because it would be way too easy for her to just betray us mid-fight and join a Serac, if you ask me.
I mean, we have enough anti-magic. Like, I don't know.
Speaking
I
of
also don't.
anti-magic,
I also don't think she would join the Serac. I mean, it's like, they're both like liches of, you know, like they're very strong. I don't think they have any reason to work together.
Withers works with the Serac, and they're both liches.
Yeah, but Withers is a bitch. Like, come on.
Are we sure about that?
I mean, I guess technically not, but like,
I mean,
Well, you-
judging
you
by
don't-
how he talked about the previous group who attacked him, and then he just like pointed at their remains, he was apparently able to deal with a whole adventuring party by himself.
okay, but we
Again,
also determined that they were
We've
level 2.
learned, we've learned
Yeah.
that the adventuring parties in this too are a joke, so that means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't think we need to turn to Blindra. Also, she's apparently really squishy because that one trap did like half her health, she said.
Yeah.
I think the requirement for Lichdom is you need at least, was it 5th level spells? I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I
I have
wouldn't
no
know.
idea.
Let me look it up again.
Do we have access to the Necronomicon?
Shoot, what was that one dude's stat block that had it?
That's really not helpful.
I don't remember. Like, we
Yeah.
did all this talking about it literally months ago, Aqua. I don't remember.
Yeah, let me.
I mean,
It
you
was
might be
in-
able to find it in our backlog if you search up Exisanther, maybe. Like our talking him and his being an artificer.
Or
No,
if I search, or if I search
After
the word,
Enter's stat block doesn't have spells though.
I mean, like, we didn't use his cannon stat block.
No, I'm pretty sure his cannon stat block only has cantrips.
No, no,
yeah, it
no.
only has cantrips on it, but that's because
that's part of what he's saying, Mark, is that they didn't use his cannon stat block.
okay, it was John Arenicus, which has the secret of lichdom. You must be at least 17th level.
At least 17th level.
Oh,
I mean,
that's pretty high.
I mean,
Which
that's
is
9th level
weird.
A
spells.
fucking lich, so.
Which is really weird because canonically inside of the Grand City of Thay, there are liches that aren't, you know, like make it strong. They're, you know, they're just kind of mid-level liches. They're good. They're strong. They're just not, you know, like these 3 liches that are everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you really expect D&D lore to be consistent with itself?
True, actually.
That sounds pog. I might watch, says Azel.
What sounds pog?
Us killing.
Whether or not to snipe Valindra. So I guess you have another vote on the Valindra sniping.
No Valindra sniping, please.
But it does sound like it's 2 for 2, and that's not a majority. So
Alright, so
Okay.
I mean-
Twitch plays D&D, have chat
Okay.
decide whether we should kill them.
Technically speaking, I'm pretty sure I could just roll initiative, and then you would need an actual majority to stop that.
it's true. You would need a veto. But I think it sounds like there is enough for a veto as well, by the sounds of it.
Also, we also don't have Jake here, and Jake is a valued member of this party.
Yeah, but he's not here right now, so it doesn't matter.
So he doesn't get a vote in Absentia.
At the very least, it seems that for this session, unless you happen to reach the very end in one session, this is a question that definitely can wait until Jake returns anyway.
Listen,
In that
Mark,
case, I
if
guess
you
what we
can
should be
kill
talking
off-
about is shopping.
Yeah, I
Mark,
also
if you
down to talk
if
about how much
you
gold we
can
want.
kill off Fenvil without Joran being here, we can kill off Valindra without Jake being here.
That was a bad analogy.
I was there, I just couldn't do anything to save Benval. I theoretically could have cast Banishment on them, like in my previous turn, try to keep them safe that way, but I didn't think I needed to. Speaking of Banishment, that thing is basically a one-shot in this place.
Mm.
It's like, that's one reason why I said like Jorian getting charmed would be really bad. Because I could literally one-shot anyone with just that spell if you fail a charisma save.
You don't think that this place
Yeah.
has like anti-banishment magic?
I mean, that counts as planar travel, which means you go to the punishment room, which is effectively one-shotting because
Oh.
you're not in the battle anymore.
And as we know, even if you leave it, you get sent to the beginning of the dungeon, so you'd have to make your way all the way back, in which case you probably wouldn't make it back before the end of combat.
So
But
shopping
yes,
then?
I would prefer not to have to make charisma saves. I do not do well against charisma saves.
Like no one in the party really does except me.
What, Christmas saves? I have good Christmas saves.
Well, I have all good charisma or all good saves now.
Yeah,
Nothing can touch me.
Although charisma is your worst save, I think, isn't it?
No, it's no longer my worst save. It's just even with all the other saves.
Because of Unk.
Unk.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I have a plus 13 to all of them.
As far as like consumables, I do think a few scrolls of counterspell and then maybe some potions of giant size or what maybe things to think about.
I do already have one potion of giant size that I bought when I created my character.
Nice. But yeah, like I do think having like a scroll of does Harry know counterspell?
I don't
I
so. Does he?
don't think so.
I mean, we should probably get like maybe a scroll of counterspell for every party member that doesn't know
Yeah,
counterspell.
he does not.
Because as is, we only have 2 counterspellers, right?
I was gonna say, don't we only have 2 people that know counterspell?
Yeah, but Keon knows super counterspell. So it's like it's
And
balanced, you know?
counterspell, right?
Yeah. Well, super counterspell from the ability and super counterspell from the fact that I can subtle distant cast it.
Right.
You still have to make the ability check though. Although you are pretty
Yeah,
good
but
at those because of
capstone.
a die for a die.
No,
Oh,
capstone.
you could also use capstone.
Yeah.
To just take a 20.
If we attacked
Um,
Valindra, she would probably time stop, and you could steal that.
Yep.
Possible. Although
Um,
then you wouldn't have a counter spell for any or anything like that for a Sirrak, but
I wouldn't have the super counter spell. I would have normal ones only. But
right.
I definitely think some potions of vulnerability, if we're doing a little bit of shopping, would also be nice because those are kind of cheap if I remember, and are like
Eh.
really good.
For fights before Serac, probably, but he's almost certainly going to be like all spell damage. That just means my aura gives you resistance to all damage anyway, basically.
Or in an Aquafied campaign, he just ignores resistance.
I mean, that would be theoretically if it's one of the adept spells. It wouldn't ignore the resistance to all spells from my aura because those are two different things.
Yeah, it's not like you ignore resistance and immunities to damage, but Joran's is just what is the wording on it?
I mean, technically, the wording I mean is like necrotic adept means you ignore resistance and immunity to necrotic damage. Resistance to spell damage is something completely different.
Yeah.
But that's assuming that they're using like actual raw, like aqua rules per aqua feats instead of just something he's throwing on there.
That's true.
So, black dragon helm to add to my current helm to make the dark red dragon helm, and then 2 rings of 3 wishes is my proposed buy list.
I'm okay with that. I don't have anything that I particularly.
Side note: I want to get 1 potion of maximum power to give to Harry so that you can cast like the mega what's it called, acid splash, acid splash, what's it called,
Vitriolic Spear.
vitriolic spear, and just have it be max damage. That sounds pog as fuck.
Yeah, I'm thankful I'm going to be immune to acid damage soon. How much exactly are we taking? Because it sounds like if we're getting consumables, we need more than just the half for the 300k.
I do still have 24,000 gold, but
Yeah, I believe we said it was 20 minutes to collect all of it.
19, actually.
Hey, 19.
19.
so
The O-Ball works its magic in the universe. Yeah, I think it was. So if we're talking half, that'd be 9.5 minutes.
Okay, so if no one has any objections to that shopping list, did we have any objections to what we were doing with the wishes? Because like I was thinking, first cast Mind Blank on both Harry and Jordan to make them immune to charm and psychic damage, and then also use 1 wish to grant counterspell immunity to the party.
Side note: if we do that, we should distract Valindra if possible. Try to
Like,
keep her from learning that information.
Like I
cast
personally was
count-
thinking like right
cast
after
spell
we
at
did
ninth
that,
level
that's
to
going to be
kind of-
gang curb, but we don't have the vote for that.
Yeah,
So-
I think it's a really bad idea to gank Valindra right now. I think it would harm us more than help us.
Oh, Saga, would you mind being the one to do the wish for the counterspell immunity? You would probably be immune to the strength reduction in 2 different
Oh,
ways.
hey, looks like you may be able to get some intel from Jake in a moment, according to what they just posted right there. While their phone is not hotspottable, they are hopping in and potentially in a second, they said. So you might be able to continue discussing this room until they arrive, assuming in a sec means what we think and
In the
not.
sec typically means.
I'm looking at other magic items to see if there's anything else we should buy.
How much money are you left over with after that? Actually, I mean, you already had base money also, so you have a lot of cash in between all of you, assuming you're pulling.
I mean, technically speaking, the 2 rings and the helm don't even use up all 300k that I was proposing. Like, I don't actually remember how much the helm costs, though. I guess I could go get back to
I think
the
it was, like,
computer and open Walmart.
Black Dragon
Dragon
Helm was 95,000.
Black Dragon Mask is, yeah.
Okay. And then the rings are 97.5k.
Something like that.
Yeah, 97,950.
So yeah, you have like 10k left.
Oops.
Imagine if we did taxes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure these artificers in the Ring of Inventory, the Guild of Inventory, already taken their tax.
Yeah, it's probably just embedded in like
No, actually,
any
no,
reasonable
I got
society.
It. All of their all of their like normal items are sold for a small profit, but the extremely high scroll cost is what makes them get the real profit. Because
It's like
everyone likes
sodas.
scrolls.
Yeah, it's like sodas.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because in this universe you don't need an Arcana check to use a scroll. Everyone and their mother wants to use a scroll. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can just use it. Boom.
Hmm.
It's like buying a drink. from a
Scrolls
vending
are
machine.
really expensive though in Aqua's rules.
That's what I mean. That's where they're getting all their money. They'll fleece you on that, knowing you want it.
Counter spell scrolls would be 4K a pop, for instance.
Sheesh.
Damn.
So Saga.
Well, that being
Ala,
said,
Harry.
so I was looking because I had mentioned, and I think this is relevant, that the scrolls always take an action to use, regardless of whether or not the spell is a reaction. And I thought more about whether or not I wanted counterspell to be working as an exception to that, or reaction skills in general. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, do I really want people to be running around with shield on the spell scroll? And I'm not sure. Is that okay? It feels like it's maybe more okay because you can only use one spell per long rest anyway, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're also paying.
And you're also
250 gold for the
spending
luxury
money
of
for
cost.
that every time.
Yeah, 250
Yeah.
gold for the luxury of casting shield once seems like an acceptable cost.
Yeah, once per long rest even. So it's probably okay. It's probably fine. Okay, well, I'll add that to the systemic rules later. Because by raw, your reaction on scrolls don't actually do anything. Because what I do, if you're willing to use an action for like a counter spell, it...
I'm
Oh, you
not
mean
sure
like use
what
an
happened.
action to prepare your reaction kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess that would be the way it would work, raw. Which is really weird.
God. What are you gonna do with your turn? Nothing. I'm gonna prepare to possibly counter something.
Okay, glad we figured that out. Good job, team.
Yeah, I don't actually know what else would be useful, to be completely honest.
Well, potions of giant size is theoretically really nice for more HP buffer against power word kill, because
yeah,
it doubles your HP. But you're also huge size, and that lasts for a day, so it
that could
becomes
also be bad.
difficult to move.
Yeah,
Potions. I also have 3 potions of heroism that I haven't used either.
we have to kill Sarek and then just stand there for a day as we wait for it to reset our size.
Yeah, and I don't think you can even dispel the potion of giant size.
No idea.
Does it go away in an anti-magic field? Probably, right?
I mean, I think the only way we have of producing an anti-magic field is using one of the rings to cast anti-magic field.
What was
Let me check.
the-
I think potions would be prevented in an anti-magic zone.
Oh, okay. While we're also thinking about what we should buy, second question is: should we use the Eye of Zoltek to revive what's her face?
I mean, she could theoretically be helpful, but she could also theoretically be dead weight. We don't know anything about her other than she was beloved, basically, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
like imagine
yeah.
we run into one of those yellow dudes. What was there? Yellow Banner. That's it. And we're like, "Yo, look, you know, like we have the person you've been searching for 100 years."
I think something to consider is that we're bringing, like, an innocent person into this hellhole. Like, it's honestly worse than the 9 hells. We were there, you know?
Yeah, I think anti-magic would suppress things like potions of giant strength and the like.
Giant size.
That's-
Well, both, but
Well, yeah.
Speaking of potions, Valindra will go and ask you, Bruno, do you happen to be able to still do any of that healing?
I mean,
Oh,
that doesn't work on her though.
I think she means the healer feat.
Hmm.
I don't think I healed her, right?
It's a new.
Also, there
long rest.
actually is a positive energy spell that works on undead, I believe, but I'm not going to mention that.
What did you say, Aqua?
It's in long rest, so it's reset.
Oh, that's true. Well, yes. Then in that case, I'm not gonna really lie to her. So yes, I can. Would she like to be mended?
I appreciate it. It saved me some resources.
Resource.
I mean, she theoretically could catnap for a short rest right now. Because after that long rest, she would be able to, even if she had catnapped herself previously, it would be refreshed to
I
do again.
forgot about catnap.
Oh my
I
god,
don't
it's
like
a
that
cursed
spell.
blue number.
It's blue.
I wonder how much healing that healer feat gives. Jesus.
I mean, it's Aquafied buffed.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh god, wait.
Oh, it needs to be higher, doesn't it? Because your proficiency bonus went up.
Yeah, our proficiency bonus went up. It should actually be 16d6.
Yeah, so just roll 2d6. Oh, and it's plus level, isn't it? Wait, what level is she?
Plus my level.
Oh, it's your level, so it needs to be
Yeah.
2d6 plus one more.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do that. There we go.
I'm still looking through the items, see if there's anything that's like non-attunement that would be useful here.
Perhaps not too relevant, but Villager will take their cut of the gold as well.
How are we splitting this, apparently?
Alive.
Hey!
Yay!
Hello.
Yeah. How much does she want?
Oh, there's an equal share.
Well,
Well, now that Azelle is gone, and I think she's assuming Harry doesn't get a share. That would be
he is
10k
the Harry.
for 6.
Harry is the party's best caster. I believe he deserves at least some of it.
Why did I join?
Villager doesn't make a distinction between Harry. They seem to just treat him as a member of your unusual party.
And in that case, there's not an even division
600,000 by 6, right?
by 7. There's 5 plus Valindra plus Harry for 7.
Okay, so that would be
100,000 gold appears.
wow. Look at that. 100. No, that'll be about 8,500. I'll take then.
Does it mean 85,000?
85,000 is what I meant. Yes, that's what I meant.
Oh, if we 85,000 of the full, if we took the full 600,000, which I don't think we were planning on doing.
Oh, okay, then yes. However, but I'll proportionally take 1/7 of whatever it is.
Okay. Jake, we were
And-
deciding how much to take.
And then what to buy?
Also the topic of should we attack Valinja right now came up, and
That's
I
a
voted no.
terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea right now.
Yeah, now that Jake's back, you probably could definitely get a veto vote going if I tried to roll initiative.
Because like it's yes, she's injured, but
She's less
It's
so
like
injured
she-
now.
Well,
She's
my
open.
big thing is she's very useful to us, especially with her her dominion over the skeletons that we don't know what they're for yet, but we think are keys.
yes, exactly. Like that'd be
So,
easy
as
enough.
soon
to
as
fuck
we
around.
use up the skeleton keys, then we gank her.
I'd be down to talk about it again.
I feel like
one
we just
thing.
bring her to the final fight and hope the liches kill each other.
I absolutely do not want that.
So one thing
they're
to
not
read
meant
about
to
is that if a Sarek has already like taken control over, or is the master of another lich, the dude who makes the traps, who's to say that Valinja wouldn't join him? Which is fair. I don't think it will happen. I think Valinja is stronger than this trap maker, personally. Side note though, Lux and Beacon, we should buy one of those. I think. So
Is
if I remember
that
correctly,
just the one lucky?
It's a single
Yes.
d20 for one person.
yes, and if I remember correctly, they're like 30,000 or something like that. So on the scale of this amount of money, they're relatively cheap, and
Go up in the
Lucky is
Walmart, whatever.
extremely good.
How do you decide who gets it?
Oh. Hold on, wait. Let me read the Lux and
Skip to
Beacon.
the
1d100, what the hell do you mean?
Yeah, it only can grant a single one.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Azel's on.
Look, I was personally a fan of grab enough gold to be able to buy a scroll of time stop, but that's me.
Yo, you know
I
what we
mean-
should do is we should make Aqua's life hell and just buy the Horn of Valhalla, that summons like 30 barbarians or something like that.
God.
I mean, we could
what if
get
we
a
each
cast
one-
of time stop if we attack Valindra and force her to use it defensively so Kion can steal it.
What if we all bought Horns of Valhalla?
Yeah, but then he can't steal anything from the actual lich.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about. Like, I'm fine using it if Volinger is needing to time stop to do something silly, but I think she's more likely to use it in the fight against Sarek if she's in that fight.
I
Because,
don't want to let her
um,
get to that point, like I've said.
Well, no, I mean, if she has to use it in the middle of the fight, I mean, then she won't have her ninth level spell later. But
Do you think Valender
'cause-
has any legendary resistances?
probably.
I mean, it's really weird because it seemed like she didn't have any of her legendary actions in the last fight, which is what she uses for her legendary resistance.
That's because the good guys are weaker.
Yeah. Okay, so she has time stop, astral projection, 2 polymorph, and power word kill. I don't think astral projection is very useful here.
Not
True
in Tomb, though.
True polymorph, I'm not sure. Power word kill, unless Harry's using it as kind of a joke. Like honestly speaking, I don't think it's going to be a problem because if she does decide to use that, we can prevent her from doing that. And time stop is the only really useful one there. And I don't know. I think we have enough resources to deal with her if shit hits the fan. In any case.
I absolutely want her dealt with before we find the Soulmonger.
Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to have a conversation as we get later, but 100% until we figure out what these skeleton keys are for. No.
So we've got the 4 of them, right? Like one of them is just a head, but 4.
Oh, what was that other thing that Crystal had in Curse of Strahd that gave everyone blessed? Pyxis of Pandemonium. What is that? I think it's called, right? Pyxis of Pandemonium?
Yeah, Pixies of Pandemonium.
Yeah, it was like just giving everyone blessed or something like that. That thing seemed really stupid.
I mean, it would save my spell slots.
Let me look it up.
25,000 gold.
Pyxis of Pandemonium.
Okay, I feel like, guys, hold on a second.
Huh.
Is it okay if we actually do shopping, like, later or something so that we can actually, do some stuff?
Well,
in
the main thing
game?
is we want to decide how much gold we want to take. I mean, at this point, we could just take.
I mean,
I guess
most of
that's
it.
true.
Maybe we say 450,000, and you get your black mask. Actually,
the helm
let's
now.
see.
Ask Helm.
Did anyone have
Uh,
any problems with my suggested uses for the wishes?
No, not personally.
I don't think so. So, the Valendra's share would leave us, if we took 450, would leave us with 386, and if you minus 290 for the 3 items you wanted to buy, that leaves us with 96,000.
Oh, right. I should change. I'm off by a factor of 10.
So yeah, do you think 96,000 is enough to buy the consumables that we
Right.
want to get?
What consumables were we getting?
Some potions. You wanted a couple scrolls, a couple scrolls of counterspell. You wanted a couple potions. I think that I'm honestly not as keen on the potions of giant size, just because Harry being huge has brought issues, and I don't think we want more than that to be huge. Also, they're a little more expensive. I remember they're like over 10,000.
11k.
11.
Yeah.
I do already have one in the event that we need one, and by need one I mean if we need Saga to do a metric fuckload of damage.
What's up, Jake?
I kind of do want to buy a potion of giant strength at the very least.
That's gonna be potent.
And expensive.
Which giant strength? Isn't there multiple?
The
But there was
big
Yeah.
There's one for each level. You want a storm giant strength potion?
It's 8k. It's not that much. It'd be useful
Does,
for me to make my attacks actually relevant.
Does Zala
How much
actually
is the
carry any
potion of
weapons?
Giant Storm? It is
Yeah, I got my Staff of Power.
8,000 gold. Never mind. I thought it was a lot more expensive.
Okay, so if you buy 4 scrolls of counterspell, that's 78,000. So there's 80,000 left.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm
Is-
pretty sure we'd have to spend the whole 20 minutes. I think, or sorry, 19 minutes. My bad. If we were wanting to buy these consumables.
Is Saga okay with casting the wish for counterspell immunity on the party?
With the whole party?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one use. The reason he's asking is because Wish normally reduces your strength, but you have 2 things that should prevent that from happening. You have Unk and you have Monk bullshit.
Yeah, but I also, like,
Monk.
kind of wanted to,
I guess we're really just crashing.
have, like, I also want to cast. Like, I also want one of the wish spells.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
would have
like
6 and we would be using
we would
2.
have 3 wishes left, 1 on one ring, 2 on the other ring, and then 2 people could carry one of the rings.
Yeah, wait, what did
We're
you want to use
we're
it for?
buying rings of wishes.
Yep.
Me?
Yeah, he wanted to use Mind Blank on Harry and yeah, and himself.
As is, I could, if charmed, one-shot anyone in the party.
I wanted to make my stony friend a permanent addition to our team.
Interesting.
I want to cast rock elemental. Like, I want to give him a soul and like make him
That way he can die a horrible death in one hit to some random ass shit.
like like you have Harry. I deserve a rock boy. Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like-
I have a shield guardian. I have a
Harry
shield
is
guardian.
healthy and is difficult to kill. I don't think a rock element will be very
I have a
difficult
shield
for
guardian.
these chaps and Eric to kill.
Well, to be honest, I was gonna wish for a
Friend.
at-will summoning of what?
Just wish for a friend.
No, I was gonna say if I could summon rock elemental at will. That way, even if he dies, he gets resummoned.
What
Similar
allows you
to-
to spawn or to summon rock elementals once?
It's just an item, which
Right.
is sad.
Thank you for summoning or controlling rock element.
So you want the ability to cast conjure elemental at will, basically?
No, conjure earth elemental. Oh well. I don't give a fuck about the other elementals. And I only want him because, like, that way he can, like, go back and forth from my pouch into, like, existence for whenever I need him. I understand if that is, like, strong or whatever, but honestly, I just wanted to have him, like, around, and I don't know if that's within the scope of, like,
I mean,
something
if you're
else to do.
enhancing the rock, it might be in scope. Or whatever you use to summon Malphite.
Yes, exactly. Is that a
Malphite.
possibility, Aqua? Without, triggering some ancient voodoo?
It should be fine. The only thing I note is what Wiz was mentioning about the reduction. We had it specifically stated that inside rules that there is no way to mitigate that. As in,
What do you mean?
you would,
Strength reduction.
yeah. That being said, yeah, I know there's no way. I think that trumps over everything else. That's more specific than anything, I believe.
Okay, so you're saying, like, me casting the strength, my strength could still be reduced because it's wish?
Yes, when that would trump everything else. It is the mightiest spell.
That's
Well,
honestly
yeah,
fair,
but
I
I'm the mightiest monk, so, like...
The spell says the damage can't be reduced or prevented. That's referring to the necrotic damage, not the strength reduction.
The strength reduction is specified in the systemic rules also. I think I actually have wish specifically stated. And this is in response to there being ways to mitigate things that normally there aren't easy ways of mitigating. Let me find the actual exact text and copy it over.
That's in that case, I feel like, I mean, with the exception of Jorin, I guess, because he needs strength, is there anybody else that needs strength?
What happens if you cast Wish, drop your strength to 3, then drink a potion of Storm Giant Strength?
Yeah, so that wouldn't work either. As it says here, if a spell or effect would deal damage or cause an effect on you as a cost of using it or failing to use it, neither the damage nor the effects can be prevented, reduced, or mitigated in any way.
That's surprising. You'd think at least Unk's god power would be able to, but I guess all these trickster gods are kind of wimpy.
Well,
Okay, so, does anybody else use strength for anything other than Jorin?
I use strength for my attack rolls when I make them.
Okay, you don't make
No,
attack
never.
rolls, so you don't count.
never, yeah.
I use strength for my strength saving throws.
Okay,
So
well,
does
you
everybody.
don't count either.
Everybody uses them for that.
Yeah, like,
Otherwise,
obviously.
no.
Okay, so I think that everybody can make their own wish spell, and then I could, like, sacrifice and make 2. I mean, like, I guess I don't know if I'm gonna roll.
What?
You know, I don't know if I'm gonna roll if I can make 2 wishes, but you know.
You note that you have a
I'm
chance
fine
of
to-
losing a wish.
Huh?
You have a chance of losing the wish.
That's
if
what
you
I'm
cast
saying.
it.
Saying.
Yeah, I see. I
That's
see.
what I'm
I
saying.
understand.
I'm saying, like, I'm willing to make 2 wish spells, granted the ability to be able to do so.
Hmm.
So, like, twice the chances of reducing my strength saving throw. That's fine by me, but oh, does this make
Yeah.
sense? Like, everybody like can cast their own wish spell, and I will cast one for Jiren.
We're
Also.
we're not casting our own wish spell. We are only casting it once.
We don't all need to wish for immunity to counter
No,
spells. We need one
we-
person to do it.
But I thought is the strength reduction like different?
The
For-
strength reduction only happens if you use the wish spell to do anything that isn't replicating an 8th level spell or lower.
Yeah.
And 2 of my proposed wishes are casting an 8th level spell. So those would not proc the strength drop.
Yes.
Okay. See, what I thought was happening is I'll get one wish, basically.
Yeah. No. It would just be 3 extra wishes to do with as we want. That being said, I'm pretty sure by now, from what we're talking about, we would need to spend the full 20 minutes to gather all the gold. Sorry, 19 minutes.
Doesn't really sound like an issue though, honestly. Like, that long.
Yeah. So it would leave us with like an hour 40-ish left.
But we're in the accelerated time.
No, we're not.
It stopped being accelerated after the beholder spawned.
Oh, okay.
After the holder
Wish
died,
normal.
but yeah, because he like I said, done as soon as it died. That's not really relevant because combat, as we all know, is like 10 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, we're doing narrative time.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
How much time has passed? I don't know. How much time does it feel like it's passed?
But yeah, like I said, I'm fine taking all the gold. The Obal told me it was decidedly the good option, so.
Then let's do it.
This is true.
If we're taking all the gold, that means our cut as a collective is 515k.
And Valinder gets the last 85.
Yeah, 515k. So 515k. How much was it? Yeah. I think that gives us plenty to spend on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That
And
would
just
mean 209k of that would be left, just including the purchases we've noted, or I noted in the campaign chat.
since it seemed relevant, Saga, do note that the strength reduction isn't part of the 33% chance. That is guaranteed to happen on the wish.
yeah. I understand. I just. I'm fine with it, I guess. I don't know. Because.
I mean, it's basically only affecting like your athletics and your strength save. Because like you're a monk, so you use dexterity for your attacks.
Yeah, I don't need strength for attacks, I just need strength for saving throws, and I kind of have
does
had like
everybody.
really bad luck. With
Yeah.
saving throws.
Everybody will get affected, except for Jordan, will get affected by the strength reduction equally.
Yes, I understand that. Well then, like, let's do this. Whoever is actually the lowest should do it. Because, like, whoever has the lowest strength, that way it doesn't affect you
I
as
would
much.
like to have my strength score remain the same as it currently is. And I would like to be able to improve it because while I don't make attacks often, they are useful to be able to have as an option.
Don't you?
Nice.
What stat does your acid cantrip does use?
That uses my intelligence, but I want to be able to make attacks the attack action in case I want to give out 2 attacks and don't want to waste my 3rd one.
Okay.
Do you even have a magic weapon with which to attack?
I have the Staff of Power,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is pretty potent.
I mean, does anybody have a strength score of
Can we
11
get
or lower?
purchases in the campaign chat?
Yeah, I'm typing some right now.
Does anybody have a strength score of 11 or lower?
Negative.
Damn right, I got 10. Hence why I was requesting to buy a potion of Storm Giant Strength. I had one before it got turned to dust.
Even Harry is stronger than you.
Damn, that's rough.
I mean, I guess I can make a wish. My strength score is only 12, and I don't use it for anything, so...
My strength is 13, so
Actually,
20 right now.
I was also gonna say Harry technically could too, because Harry doesn't use his strength for anything, and I don't think he needs.
can Harry
athletic.
make a wish?
Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
He
I
is
don't
He
know.
uses
sentient.
magic items all the time.
He's
Yeah.
sentient. He can make a wish.
Okay, then
Yeah.
fucking make Harry do it. What? Why are we
Well, I mean,
sacrificing us?
Well,
Harry is a
hello?
legitimate member of the party.
Yeah, hello. You can't
Have
just do
Valindra
that.
do it.
Well, the point of casting wish is to get counterspell immunity. We don't want her to have counterspell immunity. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it affects Harry the same as it affects anyone else. So like that's why I'm saying Harry could also do it.
Okay, then let's have Harry do it.
All right, so
Oh, Rose
as
really
the
hates Harry.
I don't hate Harry, but he is a monkey, and also you're playing two characters. So
they're a monkey, but you're a monk.
You
I'm
know,
just a
we
monkey.
could have done all this before the session.
That's
That's what I
true.
recommended. I recommended we talk about
Rose is on
it.
vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
Leave me
I was-
alone.
I was too busy trying to convert the Lich from Enter the Gungeon into 5e.
Hold on a second, guys.
Based.
I don't see purchases in the campaign chat.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted.
Are you doing everyone's purchases or just your own?
Everyone's like, we need to get. We're using this pool, you know.
Yeah, I'm starting to type this out, and I'll add more as I go.
Should I write the recap while you're doing that?
By the way, these scrolls of counterspell I have up here, one is going to each of you who don't know counterspell, including Harry.
Yeah.
Alright. So outside of me
Since-
and Harry, who doesn't know Counterspell?
Bruno in Saga.
Counterspell is useless anyway.
When you're up against a lich with power word kill.
Yeah, just don't fall below that health threshold.
Okay, what if
Seems
they
pretty
time stop instead then?
Well, I can't stop time stop.
I mean, you can counterspell time stop.
No, it's too cool though. I mean,
You can't counterspell time stop.
it's a pog spell. I don't know what to tell you.
You should also do the subtraction.
What does the strength reduction go to? Like,
3, I believe.
3.
I'll just set it to that now in case I forget later.
Tell me
then
what potions you guys want.
as
Yeah,
you're doing
but-
that,
Giant strength is 8k.
8? Okay.
I don't think I have anything that any potions that I want. I already have some healing potions. I have 3 potions of heroism, which we can use, and a potion of giant size. I will say that if we plan on using any potions, not any potions, but if you don't want to have to use your action for a potion, because I have healer, I can administer potions as a bonus action, which is part of the reason I bought so many potions, but... Anyway.
with Harry is currently wearing a ring of 3 wishes then, having been bought, and it is quite large to fit onto their unusually meaty fingers.
We're
Wait, I
planning on
know
4
what you
wishes then, by the way.
4? Oh, you think resist?
Yeah, Mind Blank ×2, Counterspell immunity, and then Rose's for infinite Malphite.
That's up to Rose since it's the strength direction. So Rose, are you still planning on doing that? Rose? Uh-oh.
Sorry, I accidentally turned off my headset.
Well played.
Nice.
I do want infinite Malphite if that's a possibility, but I
Well,
don't know.
I mean, it's up to
yours.
you because you would have your strength set to 3. So like, speaking of which, Aqua, what happened to the same person cast Wish twice and gets a double strength reduction?
You get the double what?
Like if you cast Wish twice and your strength can't be reduced again.
I can only imagine
Nope, we
that
cannot.
it just stays 3.
It would just
Wait,
stay
I
three.
just-
Question:
Oh.
So then
Okay.
you
Do
should
we
cast two
really
wishes.
want Terry doing that? Because he would take damage every time he casts a spell.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Casters should not
Wait,
be doing
what?
that since it's part of the Wish sickness is you take damage based like 1d10 per level of spell that you cast. So casters shouldn't do it.
Powered
Okay.
kill and take 13 d10 damage.
Oh, good lord,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, Jake. Looks like Alo is gonna be casting Wish then.
Well, if Saga's getting
Nice.
infinite Malphite, then she should just do it
Well, but
because she's
we have
already
to-
you getting
well,
infinite Malphite.
We'll have to decide who can cast him in case Saga loses the ability to catch Wish.
True. In that
Which
case, I
then
do think
goes
it
to
is Ala because he's literally the only non-caster besides Saga.
And then
Yes,
after
H.
Ala, I'll take the next one if Ala also loses it after like 1 or 2 wishes. Because
Are we
I
planning
don't
for
mind.
another non-standard wish?
Rose was
I
talking
don't
about Malphite, so.
Yeah,
But no, I
but
don't, beyond that, I don't think so.
we don't know. Well, yeah, well,
I'm just
we'll
saying
have
there's
we
only
don't know.
2
We don't know.
non-standards, so I don't think we need a third person just yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. I honestly think what we do is we
hold
we
on to
just-
the last 2.
hold on to the last 2, and then we say, hey, we can just use them to cast an 7th, 8th level spell that we need in the moment.
Like anti-magic field.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like anti-magic force my time.
Gotcha.
I do want to note that I think we should try to do this so there's 1 wish left in each ring, so 2 people can hold the ring.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Wait.
if my score, okay, it can never like. So what if there's like an item that makes it so that your score is like a 19 or something?
Yeah, nothing.
Doesn't
Nothing
count.
Can mitigate, no, nothing can mitigate the
Yeah.
or can offset it.
Even
Nothing.
okay, so nothing even like
If monk
it's
if
just
monk bullshit
additive.
can't do it, if monk bullshit can't do it, then nothing can do it.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a good metric to go by.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other stuff they want to buy? Because actually, there's more gold that we really need then.
Let me look at the item list again. I don't think I have anything. Unless we just buy more potions, but
Yeah.
We
but
could
before
only
can-
have the benefits of like 1 potion of the same type within the same long rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means, like, for example, if you get a potion of resistance, you can't use any other potions of resistance until you take a long rest. Same thing with potions of healing.
I'll be right back. 1 sec.
Also adding some potions of gaseous form, which Volinger does not need to know about. That in the event of her untimely demise, we we have them.
right.
Delicious potion of gaseous form.
How much gold do we have left?
I'm thinking,
110k.
is Infinite Malphite worth it? He has.
That's up to you.
Like, we're not sure. I don't think he's scaled very well to a level 24.
Yeah, he's not skilled very well. Like in combat, probably would not be worth it. But if it's what you think Saga would want, then do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a major hindrance. I don't think, at least.
No.
I just feel like you're right. He's not skilled in combat. Like every other like pet in the like everyone else has like a pet. Not everyone, but everyone that has a pet that's scaled, and so if I were to get something like if I were to get a version of Infinite Malphite, I definitely want him to be up to par with the other pets, but I feel like if I just have the ability to recast the stone at will, then he would just stay the same and not really level. Only because there's not really enough time for him to do so.
I'm back.
Yeah,
So-
probably is the case. Which is why I said it's up to you. Like, if you think it would be the kind of thing that Saga would want, then by all means do it. You know what I
Sarah
mean? Like,
definitely wants this, but
then do it, right?
I
Then
think
don't.
like my
I genuinely
decision
think it will
over-
not. I genuinely think it would not harm you enough that if you think it would be a cool thematic for your character, that it should override, the fact that it would technically make you weaker. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it'd make her weaker. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of would, but I think an infinite source of a Earth Elemental is probably more worthwhile than a +1 to Saga's. Well, I guess it's not +1 anymore, but Saga's strength score. I think it's probably an okay trade-off.
Apple, what do you think? I mean, I'm guessing there's no way he can be like even slightly scaled, right? He just stays the way he is.
They could be like a very little bit stronger, but that's about it. They're not going to be anywhere near, say, appropriately scaled for the level of danger you are regularly up against.
Yeah, I think like my issue is like he dies too quickly, and I think Saga would just feel bad watching him crumble. So
Just buy 2
I don't want
Iron
him to
Horns
die.
of Valhalla.
literally would be a better investment. Like, yeah, I don't think I'll do it.
Just because I hate the idea of that item. It sounds like hell for a DM to manage.
Yeah.
Which item? The
Horn of
Trumpets?
Valhalla.
Oh.
Just because suddenly you need to control like 5d4 plus 6
5
barbarians or something
So
like that.
Aqua,
Yeah.
if we could buy 2 of them, and then you'd have to deal with 5d. You'd have to deal with 10d4 plus 10.
Basically, it'd be
extra
like the werewolves
roll.
from Curse of Strahd, except
Yeah,
like
that's exactly what I was thinking. Is when I had to
Yeah.
control those out of nowhere. Like I got
Yeah,
no warning on that, by the way.
except you have no assistant GM to help you with it.
yeah.
Co-GM is my proper title. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, my bad.
I thought it was Wiz GM.
What was that?
I thought it was Wiz GM.
Oh no. Incorrect.
Well,
I thought it was creator of terrifying creatures, terrifying encounters.
No, the creator of intelligence saving throws. Really, that's Wiz's MO.
There haven't been any intelligence saves in the latest fight.
Yeah, I'm still
so far.
waiting on it. You don't have me fooled, sir. I'm waiting.
Is our shopping spree done then?
Was there someone who wanted the Marvelous Pigments, or was that Curse of Strahd?
I
think that's
have
Lancelot Curse
Marvelous.
of Strahd.
I have it in Curse of Strahd, yeah. In the Diana does.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, we could.
I
Probably
wish
lower the amount
I
that we're taking.
wish I got I wish I played Diana early, so that I had Marvelous Pigments. Like I had more.
wait, you
uses for that
wish?
item.
Hold on. Saga disappears.
Oh,
It turns into Diana.
Saga mysteriously appears in Curse of Strahd.
I was just thinking.
Oh. How does it mirror the password? I've seen Cabal use that a few times.
Wasn't that
Saga's
Sarissa
used
using
it.
it?
I think it's
It's a
Saga's
Oh,
used
that's
it
recent?
many
Okay.
times. What do you mean?
Wait, Saga's use it?
Yes.
No, I
You
don't-
point at a thing and then it tells you. I think like you just kind of zone out when I do investigation checks, so you don't notice me using
all
it.
do.
Well, I don't necessarily. I think it's just that there's so many different things that you do that I don't remember all of the individual ones.
It just tells you what like an item, object, or like place has to do with like has done in the past, something in the past of the items. It's usually like war flashbacks, etc. But
Gotcha.
sometimes it's something more important. It's just like up to the DM's discretion what they want to show. So it's like, oh, this is how this door gets unlocked, you know, because a long time ago there was this person around this door that unlocked it in a certain way. So now you have the fucking, you know, key to unlocking it. Or it can just be like somebody walked by it 200 years ago. You know, like it varies. So I did it on the I did it already in the tomb on the entrance, by the entrance.
And there was like the shot of like a Serac just lounging around while his servants were like building
Yeah.
it, right?
Yes. That was in fact the mirror. I also used it to figure out that maze puzzle a while back,
You're back.
and a couple of other times. But yeah, Saga has a lot of different things to. I do use the mirror of the past quite often though.
Okay.
It's the problem is it's once per long rest, so it's kind of like lame. You can really only use it once a session. If
You can't even buy a whole bunch to bypass that because of the
Mhm.
systemic rules.
exactly. I think it's a good rule though. Otherwise, lots of items would get.
I'm just
used.
thinking of like how people would buy a whole bunch of clockwork amulets
Yeah,
and
for
just
sure.
keep using them.
What we could do with the remaining money is buy another Luxon Beacon or two. I'm pretty sure that's possible, and then just have like one for like 2 or 3 people.
Do we have
Rather
enough
than only
for
one.
do we have enough for a sphere of annihilation? You never know when you need one.
Is that the nuke?
Yes. But no, we did not have enough for a Sphere of Annihilation because it's 200,000.
What if we pooled our excess money?
Then maybe.
I'm not saying we should.
Wait, doesn't
Buy a
Serac
deck of
have a
many
Sphere of
things.
Annihilation or something like that?
Like I think there's been traps in past tomb campaigns with them.
No, I thought Serac was like known for just like having control of one or something like that. He has like some kind of sphere. I don't remember what it is. I remember there was
What
like a
if
thing that was
we-
like.
What if we pooled our money to purchase the Yithrin Mythaler?
What?
The what?
The Yithrin Mythaler.
How do you spell that?
Bless you.
Uh,
Well, that's what-
Yithrin. It's it's spelled
YTHRYN.
I know what you're talking
And then-
about.
That's
Yeah.
an attunement
Yeah.
item, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be funny. Whenever you want to use the device, you essentially have to request permission from all the other people that are attuned to the device.
Wow.
sounds like a pain,
That's-
honestly.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
There could be a whole ass campaign around that, like where you just
Yep.
like really want to use it for something menacing and nobody else is allowing you to do it, so you're like on a quest to hunt down everyone else that owns it.
Aqua.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you can have up to 8 people
I-
attuned to it, and in order to use any of its properties, you have to, all the other people attuned to it have to agree.
I seem to recall something about Serac and him like having a Sphere of Annihilation as just like part of his toolkit. Is that like something that our characters would know that he has or not?
With expertise, Serac has a lot of magic items. One that summons a Spear of Annihilation very much sounds like something they'd probably have had in some of the tales in the past. And looking at how that one black pit functioned up above, and Alabawat's description of what happened when they tried sticking us, because Alabawat, when you were in the tile room, you attempted to poke your broom into this the eye sockets
My
of
immovable rod, not the broom.
the immovable rod through, and then it got completely, well, annihilated.
Mhm.
It seems like these are Spears of Annihilation.
Oh, interesting. Well, actually, I should add another movable rod to the shopping list, then, shouldn't I?
We already have one, so
Yeah, but
What if
what if
we
it
need
gets separated
two?
again? Yeah, and it's cheap.
that's fair.
Yeah, I think we're mostly good on the shopping spree.
I'm wondering if there's like a 5th or 4th level scroll I should have, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm just looking through the list right now.
I think as far as who should get the lucky from 2 Luxon beacons, I think Joran should have one. I think Kiana's not E1 because of lucky. Rose is not an E1 because of monk bullshit. Sakura's not E1 because of monk bullshit. And I think it's either Ala or Bruno that should get the last one. If you guys, is second one if you.
Probably Bruno.
Wait, I thought it was just one shard.
They were getting multiple.
Yeah, I think we should. We have enough money to,
Oh.
and because we still have
Um,
72,000 left even
I
with
mean, it
2.
depends. What can I? What can you use? Is it work just? What is? What
Attack
are
roll,
like
saving throw, ability check.
I mean,
any
I'd
of the
only
3.
really be using it for saving throws. Really, I don't think I have any skills checks that are. I mean, I guess
just
I
think
can use it for attack rolls, but like I don't really. My damage isn't particularly high.
I know.
I mean, realistically, we'd only be using it on saving throws because those are
Yeah.
generally more important than a single attack roll or ability check.
Yep.
Mhm.
And my saving throws are pretty good. I know yours are too because you have Artificer, but I feel like it's pretty important that you stay up so you can flash at genius people and the like.
Yep.
Okay.
Whereas, like,
That's fair.
I'm pretty useful, but like, I also have a lot more health than you.
That's true.
So
I mean,
like,
in theory, if we can't think of anything to spend the money on, we could just buy a 3rd one. Because I mean, lucky is just like a, you know,
Useful.
yeah, it's just useful to have one use of
That's
it.
fair.
I could use multiple scrolls if they're different spells, right? Or is there just one scroll?
So it was just one scroll.
Yeah, it's just one.
Aqua.
Oh, what?
Multiple scrolls, like if they're different spells, YN.
All spell scrolls are treated as following under spell scroll, meaning as soon as you use a spell scroll to cast any spell, you can't use a spell scroll again until you take a long rest.
I was thinking maybe like a scroll of mass cure wounds or a scroll of dispel evil and good. Because like I don't need the scroll of counter spell, so I could get something different.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have
Yeah.
cure wounds. I only have regular cure wounds.
It feels so weird to be back in a place where it's like chilly because I am wearing like 2 sweaters and dying from cold right now.
Yeah, I don't have mass cure wounds on my spell list either, so I was thinking maybe a scroll of it.
That's fair. I mean, technically, we could give that to Kion since Kion already knows counter spell. He doesn't really need a counter spell scroll.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could also grab it because I don't need this counter spell scroll.
You could both grab it.
True,
So you have
but
to teleport.
healing spells lame.
do you have any teleportation?
Misty Step is one of my subclass spells.
I'm just worried about like how we answer a force cage. Most of you can teleport. If I get force cage, I'm fucked.
We all have access to the talisman. My talisman, remember? We all have
true.
access to
Forgot
a
about that.
teleport.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking?
What,
what
Nick?
if-
What if you're in there?
Then I can teleport to any of you, so we're good.
What if
What
we're all
if-
in individual ones?
Alright, what if I just buy a scroll disintegrate?
That's what I was gonna suggest.
No, no,
But-
we don't need that. But I would be completely okay with dying if he like somehow like quintuple casts fucking force cage and puts us all in our own little box. I am perfectly happy to die that way.
I can get out with Misty Step, and I've got a really good charisma save to break his DC.
Okay. Still though,
Um,
I am still okay with getting trapped if we all get trapped.
That would be really funny, yeah.
I have no teleporting.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Everybody does
I
because
have
of me.
no. Okay, other than the little doll boy. I don't have any
What?
teleportation jutsu.
The shadow talisman, but yes, it is, you guess you could call it a little doll boy.
Did you shrink
It's a
down your
doll.
cannons?
They get removed at the end of a long end of a long rest, so I have to remake them.
I mean, we fought after the end of the long rest. We didn't, because that
Oh,
was when
did
we
we?
touched the Eye of Zoltek.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Then, I mean, I do need to shrink them down to medium realistically in order to
Move them.
bring them around anyways. So, I mean, I guess I could keep them around as large, but for the sake of movement, I'm not going to.
I do think I'll grab a scroll of Mass Cure Wounds just because it's a really far heal for me.
Mhm.
So that's 15k there if you're still keeping track.
Okay, please try. Wait, Mask Ruins is what level?
Yeah, it's 5th.
Fifth.
And the 5th
Oh, I'm
scroll.
thinking of Mass
Healing word.
Healing Word, which is 3rd, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, should I rebuy my Cape of the Mountebank so I can have
Eardrops?
a dimension door?
Fuck it. How much is it?
Yes.
Like 3.9k, I believe.
Okay, wait. I also have 10k that is just left over from Saga.
Yeah,
you
everything
guys
everything
want
here
it?
is everything here is just pooled money. We can.
I have 24.7k available as well.
Yeah.
But like eardrops for what?
I don't really need it, but
Sometimes there's like ear.
Oh, do we have a?
Hold on, y'all. Give me a second.
Do we have a spell of Verify? In case Goran is the one who
After rolling
suffers an untimely demise.
We have the Eye of Zoltek.
Oh, true. That's yeah.
Can't.
That's even better.
I'm sorry, Jay. It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know where it is. I think I have it. I just don't remember.
I'm thinking also a scroll of Wall of Force.
Okay.
a scroll of Wall of Force.
Is that
Yeah.
going to be useful against Stitches?
We don't. I mean, it's not necessarily just against switches, but having the
Okay,
ability
but-
for any of cast Wall of Force might be useful.
I mean, I do have one cast left for 5th level slots for Wall of
Oh
Force.
no, I can just cast Wall of Force.
Oh yeah,
But-
you have the Staff of Power.
Yeah, fair enough.
This,
Okay.
this thing's loaded with good stuff.
um.
Jake, I have a meme for you,
Pog.
but I'll post it in campaign so everyone can look at your meme.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm being publicly exposed. Bro, I would love for the Fae to own me.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Me too.
Okay. We all good then?
Yeah, I mean, if we think of anything more,
We can get it later. Maybe even like reactively if we find we need something.
Yeah. Okay. Works for me.
Wow, I just
Um,
realized that because I haven't updated my proficiency bonus. Wait, when did we level up?
Like before the tomb, pretty much. Or it was like one.
We leveled
into
up
the tomb?
once inside the tomb because you were
Yeah,
like,
it was
hey,
like-
they leveled up in Curse of Shaw. Did you level
Oh,
up? And
yeah, yeah,
he's
true.
like,
It was
yeah,
like-
sure.
It was like literally like the first session into the tomb or something like that.
Wow, my DC could have been 1 higher this entire time.
Wow.
Nice.
Zelka
What level
died
are we?
because of
20.
you.
True. He wasn't even there actually.
Are we level 24?
Yeah.
Yes. I am going to hang on to the gold on my character sheet. That's fine with you guys.
Yeah.
Just
sure.
so I'll just keep that on mine.
How many of the lucky things did we buy again? We bought 3?
Two.
Or
2. One for you and one for Jordan.
I mean, I have enough. I have
actually,
24,000,
hang on.
or we could buy a third one if you want. I don't have any use for my money.
We'll figure that out later. Actually, I just realized, Nick, you should hang on to the gold because Nang Nang would be happy with that.
That is accurate. I guess.
So
I
you
do
should
that.
add 53,400 gold to your character sheet.
All right.
Hey, Akko, what does Nang Nang think about getting that much gold?
How about like giving it up?
What?
How about giving up that much gold?
No,
No.
us giving that much gold to Bruno.
Bruno.
You can't. You can't. You can't.
What do you mean?
Your hand freezes in place as you try handing over gold.
He's not trying to give it up.
No,
We're trying to
They're
give it
giving
to
it
him.
to me.
Oh, giving it 2? Okay, I misheard the other way around.
Yeah.
In which case, you can! Yes! Ask them for more. They might have more.
You guys have
Sometimes if you badger people, and like when somebody gives you a little bit, and you ask for just a little bit more, they'll usually say yes.
54,000 is a little bit. What the hell, man?
Ask for 55.
any more?
No.
Wait, my Discord crashed. Hold up.
I'm back.
You have any more?
No.
Can I check your sock just in case?
You can try. I'm pretty sure on sleight of hand means you can fucking try, but she can hide anything from you.
What's your sleight of hand minimum?
I think I win.
56, I think.
Yeah, I won.
Let's see. I'm probably gonna roll minimum because that's just what I do. Oh, I didn't actually. Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think I
so-
won.
54 is my minimum.
Theoretically beatable for me if I use investigation.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, anyway.
But yeah, I think we're all good to go then.
Alright. I believe there's one more thing to do, and that would be the wishing.
Oh, true.
Yes. I've already reduced my strength score in preparation if I needed to,
No.
but I guess I don't need to anymore.
Yeah, like you're a spellcaster. You don't do that.
So who's casting
Rose, are you
what
here?
now?
Hello.
Well, Rose-
that is-
Saga
wants-
was-
Yeah, Rose wants infinite Malphite, so she
I
should.
said I won't do it.
Oh, you're not.
yeah, but we still need to do the counterspell immunity for us.
I'm still the one doing it.
Yeah, because
I
it has
think-
to be a non-caster.
Yeah, there's only 2 non-casters.
Ew. Okay.
I have some spells to cast too, so
And your spells are key.
Well,
Finally backfires on you,
to
Saga.
be fair, Mark, Saga spells are also key.
Thank
That's
you.
what Mark just said.
Yeah,
No,
but
we're
he
talking
was.
about Allah.
What?
Weren't you talking about Allah?
No, I was talking about
No.
Saga.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought you said Allah, not Saga.
I thought you were making a
Um,
play on words of key like KEY.
Oh, that's
Oh.
what I was doing because I thought you said.
Yeah,
You know what?
Yeah,
Anyway.
you're making the reverse of it.
Anyway, you know what? Just ignore me. It's fine.
Oh, I wish for whatever the team decided that
Can-
we were gonna get. I was not listening.
And you're just casting it here inside of the room.
Whoa, no, yeah, wait, no. You should do the Malphite thing first since you're the.
He doesn't want
He
that
just said we're not
anymore
doing it,
because
Mark.
Oh,
If
okay.
I'm sacrificing my strength,
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, like
well, the other two things were a mind blank on Harry and me to make us immune to charm.
yeah, but that doesn't actually matter. So we can just. do
those
that
are
whenever.
kind of matter.
How about
Well, I
I
meant,
wish
like,
that my
since-
strength saving throw cannot be changed?
Wow.
You will wish for that, and then your strength will be reduced because you wish for that. So what I think we should do before we do anything regarding counterspell immunity is we leave this room, we start heading out, and then have Valindra, make up some bullshit excuse for Valindra to not be in the room when we're casting the counterspell immunity thing. Because I don't want her to know that we have that.
I mean, if we destroyed her right now, she wouldn't know.
Okay,
my
thank
God.
you. So, I'm trying to think of the best way to go about doing that. What has Valindra, like, where are her skeletons, Aqua? Does she, like, care about them at all? Probably not, right?
Just take her out of the room.
I haven't put them inside on the map, but they have had the zombies following them. Like as soon as the combat ended and the door opened up, the zombies walked into the room. As did I believe you had 3 of the weirdly head-shaped skeletons, or was it 4?
I mean, we could ask her to go retrieve
4?
the weird skeletons.
Yeah, they've been following along. They had
Okay.
notably one of them was missing.
What do you mean it was missing?
As in, only 3 of them entered the room just now.
Well, the 4th one didn't have a body, right? She was just hanging onto the head, I thought.
Yeah.
So does she have the head?
If you ask them if they have the head, then I mean, presumably people place stuff in their bags of holding. They have it in a bag of holding.
I mean, doesn't that count as a creature, which means it gets sent to the punishment zone? Because like
A head's
the
a
mouth
head's not a creature.
chomps these
Oh.
thing, and so like that's what remains of the creature. It's still a lot undead, right?
It's not alive. Its head is taken off.
I mean, I thought it was still silently screaming after the head came off.
Oh god, that's
You
horrifying.
specified that it was like after it got deheaded.
Yep. Deheaded. Nice. But no, a head is not a creature. A head is a head.
I mean,
Okay.
I think a demi-lich counts as a creature, and it's just a head.
You're
So
saying
you're getting
Volkaz
ahead
is
of
not a
yourself.
creature because it's just an eye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry to break your world like that, Rose.
and I guess it's fine that we have the thing in a bag of holding if it doesn't count.
But yeah, I mean, is there a good actual excuse for Valindra to leave the room?
Hmm. I mean, you're
I
the
can
one
leave
with
the room.
deception.
Do we need all of us to have counterspell immunity?
I mean, it would make your scrolls of counterspell uncounterspellable by him.
Also, I mean, like, if you cast a useful spell and he's like, good with that, he tries to counterspell you,
Guys, I could literally leave the room and come back and she will not even notice I was gone.
Well, no, but you have to cast a spell with us nearby to,
Does she?
Do I?
Yes, because you have to grant 10 creatures you can see.
Yeah.
Wait, so she could just quietly do it in the corner, though.
I mean, there's no such thing as quietly casting a spell without
Yeah.
subtle spell. Even if you subtly casted a wish, the actual wish itself is not subtle. It is like the air around is literally contorting and reshape reality to your will.
She's gonna notice regardless of where we cast it, I think.
You think so?
Probably.
Is that like a thing that someone who's like knowledgeable with their game would be able to notice, Aqua? 'Cause I don't really know
Only
how
if it
these
was like
people look.
only if it was like within a reasonable distance. Kind of like how a fireball kind of goes like kaboom and makes a nice little sound, explosive sound, that you can kind of hear.
So if she was on
you know,
like,
if
a
you were
different
just-
floor, if she was on a different floor, she probably wouldn't hear it happen.
Correct. If they were like within, I don't know, like 120 feet, 150 feet or so, there's a good chance they would audibly hear and or see the distortions of space reshaping reality from the
Okay,
immense
I
power
just-
of wish.
I think we don't bother and doing it now. I think we just keep going, pretend like nothing's happening, and then sometime, when we're on a floor, just ask her to check something on a different floor. Be like, oh, can you go look and see if something happened here? And then while she's gone, we do it. I'm sure we can think of an excuse, like there's some, because we haven't done everything, right? And I want to be like, hey, I want to try this. Can you do this favor for me?
I feel like the best option would be right before we gank her. Whenever that happens, is when we do the wish for counterspell immunity.
Maybe that also, yeah. Yeah. Either way, I don't think we want to do it in front of her, because I don't want her to have knowledge of it. So if we can avoid her having knowledge of it, I think that's the best.
We'll see if an opportunity pops up, I guess. But like, we are using the wishes for mind blank in the meantime, yes.
Yeah, that's.
Alright, then, 2 charges. I guess it doesn't matter who exactly casts this. Since I believe Mind Blink is touch and not self, right?
Yes, it's touch.
Okay. You conjure up Mind Blink with the power of Wish. And one person touches the recipient of who it is. I think it was Harry and Saga.
Harry and Jordan.
Harry and Jordan. Alright. I'd like to think that they both touch each other's shoulders at the same time.
Nice.
Wish! You see reality distort around, but not quite super intensely, as it then transforms into the visual effects of Mind Blink. Your minds are blank. Head empty. No thoughts. No stress.
Damn. Damn, Mind Blank foils wish spells. Holy shit.
Yep.
I like that
Mind
they're
Blink is
spelled-
like
Mhm.
Mind Blink is like one of the high level spellcaster buffs. Like almost every high level spellcaster will have it on them when they fight.
Gotcha. That was just funny because Mind Blank says wish spells and other spells or effects of similar powers if wish doesn't start out by saying this is the strongest magic in existence.
I
Yeah.
mean, in 3.5, there was the divine equivalent called Miracle, but that doesn't exist anymore. It got folded into one of the cleric class features.
Yeah. Divine Intervention.
You are putting a psychic immunity and charm immunity on Harry's sheet, right?
Yep. Alright, you're right then.
Alright. I guess let's move. Oh, I have 2 legendary resistances now with the dark red helmet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
What were we doing before this room?
Yeah. Valinda is commenting on your wish, though, just being like, I remember when I could use to cast that.
Oh god. Well, at least you get any more.
What did
Oh.
you wish for that made it no longer work?
Yeah, but that's the same thing.
Give me a moment, let me check something.
Oh, I thought she was talking Mind Blank, not Wish. I was confused.
Wait,
They
what?
lost the ability to cast Mind Blank.
Who lost the ability to cast Mind Blank?
You lost
Nobody.
the ability to cast Wish, I believe.
Yeah, Valinda did.
Who?
Well,
Oh.
Valinda.
Underneath my tutelage, underneath Saz Tam, one of my mentors, you could say, over in the grand city of Day, they inclined me as a show of loyalty to cast Wish for them for one of the projects that they were working on in order to partially assist inside of a ritual in order to summon an undead army, one of those standard things. And I did, as their tutelage had been incredibly helpful to me, and it seemed very practical to do so. It was at that moment, however, that I lost Wish, and it was a shame. I had a few more I had wanted.
you know, undead armies are not that hard to defeat.
Well, that's partially what the Wish was intended to do, was to be able to bolster the power of it. They're more permanent undead creatures of the sort. Over in the city, it's not terribly uncommon to have grabbed the corpse of a dragon and turned it into a Draco Lich, for example.
Yeah, I noticed outside. I saw your handiwork there.
Thank you. It's a part of a ritual I had been practicing, and I'm glad that it worked out quite well on such a large specimen, though a tragedy we couldn't just bring it in here with us. At least it's out there. I'm not sure what I'll do with it yet. It's not easy to teleport.
So what you're saying, your strength is pretty bad then.
No,
No, that only
was
lasts for a
long
couple
enough,
days.
Because like you can just rest the strength decreased off. We just don't have time to
Oh.
rest in here.
Yeah. Oh god, could you imagine if your strength was permanently lowered? Holy shit.
Like every wizard out there is just like weaker than a kitten.
Yeah. That's the canonical reason why wizards are so weak, is because they cast Wish. It was like the cool kid spell.
I believe
Mom,
we're
all
going.
my friends are doing it.
I believe we're headed to the gargoyles on 4-4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've tapped out the third floor now.
Well, then, let us begin. The zombies, not shown on the map, are following behind.
Is there a
Wait,
reason why we're walking
it's entirely
manually instead of
different
going to
lore,
the
right?
next map?
Probably.
Yeah, this guy escaped.
It's called dramatic effect. God.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it.
Oof, that was a long walk.
Whoa, this map.
It's been a while since we've been here.
There's like just Zell's upright corpse right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
When I close my eyes, I can still see him.
At least the
Oh yeah,
music
that's right.
was
The
not
music,
terrible.
the mirror is down here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're
The
not headed
scary
that
bit.
way.
Oh. I see.
Boop, boop.
Let me read the plaque for this floor.
I'll pull that up as well for the others to see.
Death to fire, diner drowned, precious air and falling sand.
Aqua,
Hello, that's me.
Sorry.
look.
Yes.
I don't think they should be there. Okay.
No,
They had
I
it.
want to be over there.
No, I don't want that.
Has anything changed about this room, Aqua?
No, this room remains the same. The one that you're in here at the gargoyles. I can read it once more.
I'm over there.
No, the room with the painters.
With the painters.
Which means my cannons get all.
Did you go down the stairs or did you go down the main hallway? Because there is still this
Yeah,
door
like-
in the way. It's not
We
the same.
never opened this door.
Should we not then? Do you think?
I don't think it's worth the time and effort.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I just wanted to see if, because I wanted to see if there was any paintings about that have like changed over the course of our actions here. Because I remember you said one new painting was already in progress before.
Yes,
That
it
might
showed
reveal
this
some
per.
information.
It showed somebody in between these two grinders. These pictures, crude as they are, pretty much identical to the way that they were drawn on these walls. Also similarly crude.
There was one about a person in a chest, if I remember right. But I think you deleted
Yes.
that one.
Yeah, I deleted it, but it did in fact look like somebody inside of a chest.
Okay, so let's see, which ones did we actually have we done? The mirror holds 12, that's probably the mirror.
Yeah.
The army
Find the
section
Iron Citrus
failed.
twin we have, and then the maze holds the key was the ballroom Minotaur.
Well, we didn't actually find the Iron Scepter's twin, did we?
We found the Iron Scepter. Yes. No, I'm pretty sure we found the Iron Scepter's twin.
Oh.
I think.
I thought we just found the Iron Scepter, and it's the scepter of getting possessed.
I thought the Iron. So, I'm pretty sure that that's the Iron Scepter twin, and then we'll find something else on the third floor where it's just going to be an Iron Scepter. My guess is it's something like a statue that has no, that has, you know, like one statue has a scepter and one statue doesn't, kind of thing. That'd be my guess, but I'm not actually sure. It's like Aqua, when we were in that room, there was no like indication of anything of that nature, right? We didn't find anything.
Anything like that looked like a scepter in that room?
Yeah, like a second scepter or, you know, a secret passageway or something, anything like that. We didn't find. I know Saga has all that junk.
No, everything seemed to be fine, like normal.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure what we do is,
You're back. Sorry.
we refreeze the mirror if it's unfrozen now, which I'm assuming it is. Go this way.
Why are
check
we
out
going that way?
Well, what's this?
I don't care. I don't want to get to the next floor.
Over to that, the one that you see there is
Wait, what?
this thing right here.
Yeah.
At a distance, looking over at it, a 6-foot-tall green devil face is carved into the far end of this hallway, its mouth agape. Painted murals on the wall show faceless humanoid figures doubled over in pain, clutching at their heads and ears.
I mean, didn't we learn our lesson with the boarhead?
Yeah, but what's the chance it's the same trap?
I do think we should try to figure out what this thing or these things are first.
Yeah, like I do feel like we need to go down, and then to do that safely, we might need to do something with these.
Well, I figured down was the way forward, and I want to find
Yeah.
Shagambi before we go down.
I want to go forward.
I want to find Shagambi. I think finding Shigami would be extremely valuable. We have like an hour and 40 or whatever. I think we have plenty of time. I'm not necessarily worried about the amount of time that we have. Also, why is the Shield Guardian upside down? It's concerning.
Hmm?
The Shield Guardian's
No, he
upside down.
is.
Oh no, wait, I still have control over the token. Thank God.
Did we still not re-gotten the description of this room?
Hmm?
I don't think you ever re-gave us a description of this room.
Let me provide it once more. At the bottom of the grand staircase, a resonant mechanical rumbling emanates from a dark shaft opening up in the middle of this chamber's floor. 4 cylindrical stone pedestals surround the shaft, each one of them featuring a tiny slot in its side. Squatting atop each pedestal is a large, 4-armed gargoyle. Each gargoyle is on top of these squares on these pedestals. In order, starting from the northernmost and going clockwise, it is copper, silver, gold, and platinum.
You're sounding like your internet's having issues, by the way, Aqua.
No,
You
not
sound
like
fine,
this.
Aqua.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
think
Rose?
Jordan is the one
Robot
with
to
the
me.
internet question.
No,
Nah, it
it's-
was for me as well.
Yeah, it's Aqua.
Rose is
What?
gaslighting you.
Rose is literally gaslighting everyone, yeah.
No, I legit did not hear any internet issues.
You're actually just gaslighting everyone because everyone else are dead.
Okay.
Maybe Rose just has like super internet, she just connects anyway.
Her internet's so good it negates other people's internet issues.
I don't
Pog.
know. I guess my bad.
You didn't pick the best color for that. Whoever's writing.
Your mama. Yo. Yo.
Do you think
it's
you
raining.
do you think you could try talking to the gargoyle saga?
What the fuck?
What do you
I
want
don't
me
know.
to say?
I mean, gargoyles are usually like disguise themselves as statues, right? You could try talking to them, ask them like what they're here for, what we need to do, or what
Alright,
their
I'll
puzzle
just
is.
say if I will. Sure, I'll talk to it. I'll say, do you have? I don't know. Hello. Hello.
you hear the echo of your hello as the mechanical rumbling at the shaft below just churns.
Okay. You mentioned
I'll try
like
to-
slots in the sides of these things. Like, can we get more on that, or what?
You take a look over at the size of a slot. It looks like it's maybe about 2.5 inches high, so it's kind of a large slot. It's fairly thin. Think of those like arcade machines, but
Surely
larger.
we'll just need to put money in it, right?
I mean, copper, silver, gold, platinum are the 4 currencies, right?
I know. So like, surely that's not it, right? We just need to put money in it and like right? That would be
kinda-
ridiculous.
I'm kind of tempted to drop the axe beak down just to see if something would happen if we tried to go down.
The what?
The axe beak from the bag of tricks.
Oh, nice. Sure.
It's not a real animal, right? So I don't need to feel bad about it.
Yeah, it's like a mechanical. Like it's like a living robot basically.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna try that.
All
I
right.
thought Dragon Tricks were actual creatures. Like it transforms it into the creature.
I don't think they're actual creatures. It's like,
Yeah,
They
they're
might-
magically constructed, at the very least, and
So
all magically
you don't have to feel
constructed.
bad, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're soulless. They are actually incapable of feeling pain.
Damn.
No awareness, no recognition, no pain. They don't even have awareness or sentience.
sounds like a wizard made item.
All right. You throw the axe beak down. Immediately, you begin to see, as before, like at the instant that they just kind of fly, even just a tiny bit down into the hole. All 4 of these gargoyles spring forward and start mauling at the pieces. And then they return to their pedestals.
Okay. So this is like the puzzle to continue to the next floor then.
Yeah, seems like it.
They've unleashed a barrage of attacks too. In a short amount of time there, it looks like each of these gargoyles probably like bashed it like 5 times onto its corpse without stopping.
Wow.
I suppose the quickest check of the currency thing would be to try putting 1 gold piece into this gold slot here. WTF, 2 Kion. And I guess I didn't explicitly say I'm doing that, so I guess I'm doing that.
Right. Going over to the gold pedestal there. Are you just depositing in a singular gold coin?
Yes.
Alright. 1 gold coin has been placed inside. Give me a moment to check something.
Why do these characters have different HP than they did earlier? What the fuck?
I mean, we had issues with token HP in the last session, didn't we?
Yeah. But it was like, yeah, but like it was like maximum HP was down too. And it's weird just because Harry had like 380 health, not 280 health. So I remember him being very close to maximum. But I don't know exactly how much health he had.
I don't remember.
Huh. I'll have to look at that later, I guess.
Yeah, give me a moment, I'm just checking something. Where is what I'm looking for? See, the problem with actually writing notes for the first time is that I lost track of where I left it. This is my life.
Oh, no, I'm okay. That actually is how much health Harry lost in that combat. We're good.
Are you still writing recaps, Jake?
Yeah, next week I'm just gonna write a double recap because my internet was out and I don't feel like writing it in the middle of the session.
I was like, I thought you were doing it right now, and that's why you were so quiet.
No, I'm just trying to think about what I think we should be doing.
I think we should find Shagambi, which means we go down to this over here.
I think,
Shagambi would be dope as fuck.
Yeah, the problem is we don't really know how to get past these, right? Because they're just like big old stone guys.
This?
Okay, sorry. Alright, so you go ahead and you place in the gold coin. And upon placing in the gold coin, here's what happens. This one lights up, this one lights up, and this one lights up. The base of their pedestals do.
Is this one of those puzzles? Where you have to try to get all of them to light up with each interaction causing them different ones to turn on and off?
Possibly.
Yeah.
That sounded like a rhetorical question.
Did it?
Hey, is the Ring of Inventory able to break coinage down?
Can it break coinage down? Yes.
And can it, like, compress coinage as well?
Yeah.
Great. What a
How much
convenient
gold
item.
is platinum?
The functions aren't used very often because we have the gold standard in this world. But
like 100 copper is 100 silver, 100 silver is 100 gold, and 100 gold is 101 platinum, I think.
No, it's 10.
10, 10, 10.
100.
10, 10, 10, 10? Really?
10, 10, 10, 10.
Okay.
100 copper is 1 gold. It's the way to remember it.
Okay.
So, what would happen if we just jammed 10 platinum into the platinum slot? Would it just be like, yeah, that's fine?
I mean, you should probably do it one at a time just to see what happens.
Why don't we just put a silver coin in first?
Sure.
I mean,
put a
that
silver
would probably
coin in.
be.
And let's just I'll write stuff on my sheet to keep track of which ones seem to activate what. So yeah, I'll put one in the silver slot.
Oh, fuck. The fucking roll 20 chat doesn't keep my stuff.
I'll just add then. Give fuck, Jake.
Mine popped up first on my screen, so I'll take it.
I kind of like my notation more, but it doesn't show up in roll 20.
This is like league pick order back in the day.
Oh, I'm back.
Nick,
Welcome back.
Yeah.
what is the last message in roll 20? Who's it from?
Gold, activated gold,
No,
copper.
who's it
platinum,
from?
Kion.
Fuck.
Let's go!
I put my version in the campaign chat just because I think it's more elegant.
Yeah. It looks stupid, but it's more concise.
It's more concise. I don't like it as much.
Yeah, Aqua, what happens with the silver?
Alright, you place a silver one inside, and here's what happens. This one lights up, and the gold one turns off.
Okay, so then silver activates silver and gold. Assuming,
Put one in the copper.
you know what, let's change the wording. Talk.
Let's not.
Aqua, I'm gonna toss one in the copper in the copper.
Alright, you toss one in the copper.
What a good
The copper turns off.
Okay.
So
Copper is just up.
as we go one higher, so it looks like it rotates them like it activates the next ones clockwise. So silver activated, silver and gold, gold activated, and then in order, it looks like it activates 1, 2, 3. Platinum would activate 4, assuming the order
Which
stays the
means
same.
platinum would be good if all of them were off, meaning if we had started with it, we would have
Yes.
succeeded, but it's
So
useless now.
put
Well, why don't we test? Let's not make that assumption. Let's just put one in the platinum one and see what it does first.
Sure.
Alright, you place a coin over into platinum, and you see that these two turn off, and both copper and gold turn on.
Okay,
Okay.
so that here he is. Platinum toggles all.
Put one in the silver, then one in the gold, then one in the copper, and you have all 4 lit up.
Alright, so one into silver, so that would light this one. Then you said one into copper.
One in the gold,
And-
then one in the copper. Oh yeah, or that
One in
either
copper,
order.
then one in
Right.
gold.
Gold, gold, gold. With that, all 4 pedestals like sink into the ground about 3 inches, and all the pedestals rotate
Do they
as
rotate
the
to right or
gargoyles
left?
face. The gargoyles are now facing away from the pit.
That's good. Do we have anything else to throw in there?
I can use another charge from my bag of tricks.
Aqua,
Yeah.
did the pedestals rotate to the clockwise or counterclockwise?
They all rotated clockwise until they all faced away.
Good.
Mine is 10, so that means an ape is going down into the pit.
Alright. Pokeball, go! An ape falls down into the deep, dank pit, and you hear a resounding thud as it hits the bottom. The ape has died.
That seems a little cruel, but alright.
It
I
doesn't
admire-
apparently, it's fine.
I admire how expedient that was.
Yeah.
No, that was...
Did it die to fall damage or did it die to
Yeah,
fall?
that did fall damage.
I think apes only have 19 health baseline.
Nice.
So like that could like a 40-foot drop, I guess, or
Hey,
more.
Aqua. Can we like toss a prism stone down to there to see how far the drop is, like you can in Dark Souls?
Yeah. You go ahead and drop it down. Let me check. It looks like it is about 50 feet down.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like all of us have like some means of flying at this point.
Yeah,
right?
of course. But it's just funny to think about. But I do still want to find Shigami verse just because I think Shigami would be useful. Also, he still has someone without a spirit, right?
Yes, Mirage.
Were there any unused spirits anymore? Or are they all belonging to someone? Oh,
They all
Obalaka was it?
belongs. Obalaka currently is not being used, but I don't think Obalaka is going to be very useful to Mirage. But yeah,
So wait, who does Allah have?
Kubazan, Yijen,
I have Wongo.
Wongo. Where is
Or,
Saga?
sorry, I have Vongo. Saga's getting crushed by the gold thing.
Ah, okay. Well, she has Unk.
Matt.
And
I have Nang Nang.
And then Harry has Moa, which means that we
Yeah.
all 6 of our 7 are currently being used. The one who's not is Obalaka. And then Mirage is the only one who has available slots for a spirit.
wait, who has Kubazan? That's Joran?
Me. Yeah.
Okay.
So, do we think it's worth grabbing Shigambi from Mirage then?
Fuck it, right? Like I feel like
Where
Shigambi is it?
Shigambi?
Presumably,
Presumably
on this floor.
In
Like
here.
yeah, presumably with the army.
I mean, if we're going to be going to the bottom right corner, not through this way.
Wait, what? Not through? Oh, you don't think so?
Because of the fucking mirror.
Oh, I thought that we would just freeze it over again.
I mean, that still prompts a charisma check just getting in line of sight of it.
Remember what the DC was before?
30.
That is
I'm
a
not
hard
sure
decision.
why would we if there's a way in through here.
Well,
if
because
we
surely
must.
the other way isn't safe either, right? Hey, Aqua.
Yes.
What happens if I poke my my mage hand through this thing?
Alright. You go ahead and
Like
poke
wave
your
it in
mage
front
hand.
of it, wave it in front of it first. If nothing happens, you like poking it, you know?
Right. Nothing bad happens. You go ahead and, unlike the other one here, when your mage hand went in, you were able to retract it outward with no issue.
Can I see into it with blind sight?
With blind sight, you'd have to be a little bit closer. I don't believe your blind sight is that far, right? It's 60 feet, isn't it?
Oops.
Yeah, it would have to be a lot closer.
I still have
yeah.
control over the shield golem for some reason.
That is weird.
What does your blind sight look like? Because every rogue, right, probably has their own version of blind sight, whether it's like, you know, an uncanny sense of smell, an uncanny sense of vibrations in the air, just like clicking of your
Honestly,
tongue.
I thought Rogue was the standardized one because the original Rogue text says while you are able to hear, you have blind sight. Or
Yeah.
you have. So I thought that it was usually considered to be like a hearing kind of thing. Like extremely
It's-
keen hearing.
It's your rogue, you can choose.
Yeah, I
Your
don't think
flavor.
that clause
True.
exists anymore.
That's true. I don't know. I'm not really thinking of anything that would be like more in character for blind sight besides hearing.
A ton of little telekinetic pulses all around you.
That would be really funny. It just like hits something, you're like, wait a minute, there's nothing there.
Mhm.
I like the sound of that, I
In-
guess.
Something in there is moving. Not very much, not very often, but it is very, very tiny.
Oh, is this the In Darkness It Hides, maybe?
That was for the first floor.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was it? Which one was that In Darkness It Hides?
We assumed it was for the, death pit that the punishment room brings you. Is
Oh,
connected
yeah,
to.
but I don't think that's... I actually didn't think that's what it was. But I guess if we're assuming that the plaques are only relevant to the floor afterwards, the floor and the floor afterwards, then I guess the Black Obelisk would only be relevant to the first floor, huh?
I mean, you could
Anyway.
consider it relevant to the outside too, the Black Obelisk, because we do feel like at least some of it was related to the getting into there, so it
Yes.
could be referred to the hidden entrance.
Yeah, that's true. So if it's not that, then I'm not sure. Can I tell more about it, Aqua, or no?
You wait a bit. See if maybe it moves so you can get a better idea of what it is. You think it's a lizard?
A lizard wizard?
A lizard?
Wizard.
It's just hiding in there?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe it.
I'll walk closer. Does anything happen?
Nope, nothing happens.
I will stay exactly 30 feet away from Joran for no obvious reason.
It's actually there in there.
Oh shit. So yeah, if I get like really close, Aqua, can I like peek into it?
Right? Yeah, with your blind sight, you peek in, right? And you get a pretty good idea that this feels like a cavity on the inside, and the only thing of note in here is a lizard. It seems to be scurrying at a high and at the furthest part of the corners upon your approaching.
I try and speak telepathically to it and see if it responds.
Right? You go ahead and speak telepathically. You notice that it is staring directly back at you, but it is saying nothing.
Should I pick it up, do you guys think?
I don't know.
I missed the past minute or so.
Don't know if that is a good idea, but
There's a lizard in there.
we've made a lot of work. Go for it.
There's just a lizard in there, nothing else. It doesn't
Just a lizard.
seem... Yeah, just a lizard. If I ask Harry to walk up, and does he sense anything magical, like any detect magic, anything?
No, nothing of the sort.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna try and reach my hand out and grab it.
Right, you
Or
reach your hand in.
Or grab it, like I'll see if it's like, willing to just crawl on my hand. You know what I mean?
Alright, so you extend your hand out after. It's currently just looking at your hand.
Should I like try and offer it food?
Um,
I'm gonna buy some lizard food from the bag or the ring of inventory.
oh yeah?
Yeah. What do
Like
lizards
crickets?
Is that I don't know what lizards eat.
I think they eat crickets. I've had like anoles before, and we fed them crickets, I think. Or maybe it does. No one here probably has animal handling, since
do.
Zell's not here. Oh, you do?
Yeah, I grabbed it when I was training Harry.
Yeah. Why don't you roll it then? See if you would know.
True. Let's see. All right, how good am I at this today? That's pretty good.
Or maybe
I
that
forgot
would be
I got
nature,
ex-
actually.
Huh?
Maybe that would be nature, actually.
Yeah, let's do both. You know what? Oh shit, I'm even better at nature.
Hey, I kind of know nature. I got a plus 13 to it.
I have
Aqua,
plus 17 in
if I like
Hmm.
get some, presumably I know what lizards eat, and if I grab some food and try and offer it, someone does I care?
Yeah. Upon being offered food, you see it hop off of the pedestal, ignoring the food, run across the ground over to this wall, and then seemingly it phases through the wall, which begins to mysteriously vanish.
Oh.
As the wall vanishes, you see this chamber on the inside, as the lizard runs through one of these holes in the ground.
What?
Is that a skeleton holding a torch?
Yes, let me go ahead and even tell you exactly what this is.
What? Illusory wall ahead, like literally.
Hold on, let me go and get it. Here's what you see. Inside of this room here, waves of heat seem to be blasting out. The walls are scribed with relief carvings showing volcanoes setting cities ablaze. Rows of tiny holes are bored into the floor and a 10-foot high ceiling. A human skeleton embedded in the opposite wall holds an iron sconce with a burning red candle in it.
Well, we may have
Uh-huh.
finally found the death to fire.
Yeah.
The Death to Fire?
I mean, like that whole clause, I think, is actually one whole thing. Like it's connected: death to fire, diner, drowning,
Oh,
precious
yeah.
air, and falling sand.
I think it's a Death to Fire.
Oh, yeah, that's something different.
Yeah. That's a precious air. So I guess we try and put out the fire?
I mean,
Seems like the
Yeah.
most.
No, we gotta try
Doesn't
to
it-
kill the fire.
Oh fuck.
Aqua, if I try and peek down the hole, can I see anything? The one that the lizard went down.
Down in this hole.
Yeah, you
He's
said the
like,
lizard like ran down it, like crawled into a hole, right?
yeah, it crawled down one of the holes. You don't see any real sign of the lizard down there any longer. Looking down though, you see what seems to be scorch marks at the bottom of metal that is underneath this one. Looking over at the ceiling and getting with a fairly reasonably high perception, getting a nice little look up there. It kind of looks like the ceiling would slide.
Ugh.
The electric slide.
No.
slide, as in
Does
like
it seem like there's a reason why
open
there's
and
all these
reveal
holes?
something, or what?
That was two different things at once. Yes.
Good with.
Yeah, like the ceiling would slide, as in like move aside to reveal something, or
Yes.
And my question was, is there a reason that's visible for why there are holes in the ground?
I mean, the obvious answer would be that flames spew upward from them.
Um. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here.
I mean, we could just start by from a distance trying to put the fire out.
Yeah, I'm just worried that it, like, reforms the illusory wall here and locks whoever's in there, you know what I mean?
That's why I said
That's
do it from out
likely.
here.
Yeah, but then, what if we're, like, locked out of the puzzle? I guess we could ask Withers to reset it. I'm sure he'd be willing to watch us try and solve it.
Dungeons are roguelike.
So yeah, if everyone's okay with it, I will try and put out the fire with Mage Hand.
All right. You mage your mage hand through, and as soon as it as soon as it reaches into the pit, the mage hand disappears.
Anti-magic.
Okay.
Surely we
Right.
do not need magic to put out a fire, no? Does anybody have, like, a bucket?
Um,
And someone probably could buy like would water generated by like a decanter of its water also get anti-magic out of existence?
Yes, Oh, you mean like water created by the decanter? No.
Yeah, that
you're just gonna splash water on it from a distance?
maybe.
Yeah,
Mm.
fuck it, right? Surely we can throw water across the room.
What if I just had a tiny cannon shoot the fire out with a force ballista?
That does not sound like the option.
Do
Why not?
water balloons exist in this world?
You can make them exist.
Because unironically, a water balloon would be so OP right here.
I'm gonna go ask the Master Artificer to make me a water balloon.
Can I make a water balloon really quickly, Aqua?
Yeah.
I mean,
Surely that's
Done.
Surely that's a common item, right?
Yeah.
don't even
Make it
counts as a magic.
The balloon of watering. As,
Oh, Lord.
as an action, you can throw this balloon up to 20 feet. It explodes on impact and causes 1 bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Whatever it hits is doused.
Wow, 1 bludgeoning damage. It means you could kill a commoner with a couple of these. Bro, imagine having a water balloon like someone just fucking die.
Get hit by 4 in a row, they start making death saves.
That's funny.
But yes, you do have it now available to you.
Okay, so we try and throw the water balloon. guess.
All right.
guess.
As it's a magic item, it's dispelled upon it. No. Who is throwing it?
Presumably
highest
Jordan,
rank
because he's got enough strength to chuck something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like this is that far.
That's true. It's only 40 feet. Who's got the best
Alright.
precision in throwing? Honestly, we'll just give it to Jordan. Actually, no. Jordan crushes mundane objects with his fist. Maybe we can give it to Jordan.
True.
Keon will do it.
Alright, Kion, you go ahead, water balloon in hand, and you chuck, splashing it onto here and dousing it utterly. As it is doused in the flame, it goes out. Two things happen. First, you disappear. Second,
He's dead.
you begin to see that the entire chamber fills with lava that is beginning to pour out from the ceiling in such density that it looks like it's basically a cube of lava.
Oh my.
Cube of
Sarac.
lava sounds like ooze.
Sarac was playing Minecraft and asked Withers to make a puzzle based off of it.
Kion, we'll talk about what's happening with you, but for the rest of you, what are you doing?
Like, is it coming like out towards us?
No, it's remaining inside of a cube. It's like literally just a cube of lava, basically.
More water balloons?
I mean,
I don't know if a water balloon beats cube of lava in a one-on-one
Well,
battle.
not one water balloon, but like, Aqua, how many water balloons can I make in a minute?
In a minute? I mean, it takes what, like 6 seconds to make one, so 10?
How many minutes do you guys want to spend chucking water balloons at a lava cube?
you said they like vanished, like as if like teleported.
Yes.
I mean,
Am I
Just
in the
there.
punishment room?
You'll find out soon, I guess.
like there's, I don't know if they're, I don't think they're in there. Like, I don't know if we have a way to tell or not, though.
Yeah, probably not yet.
I could try to find out, though. Like,
Harry makes very distressed monkey noises.
What do those
I
sound
guess
like?
I will try to enter the lava cube with my fire immunity.
Nick,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not
You do.
getting someone else to make monkey noises.
Can I feel around for Keon in here?
You begin searching. Do you have investigation?
Nope. I have perception.
You search.
That
Being
did not
very
happen.
cautious about your search, and you go about, making sure, feeling all around. Looking through, you the main thing, you feel a skeleton, but it's clearly this thing on the wall and not Kion. You feel you feel around on its hand, and the candle is definitely there as well.
If you want to hand over that dragon eye, I can probably do a better investigating job than
It
you.
wouldn't work in here. Like, the only reason I am fire immune right now is because my helmet is now an artifact.
I forget why that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause
artifacts still work in anti-magic, and my dragon eye is not an artifact.
Oh, right. I forgot this room is anti-magic, so I was getting confused.
Search and search you do, Jordan, as this is what happens over the next bit of time. Let's tell you what happens to you, Mark.
Oh.
Hello, welcome. As you are teleported, you suddenly appear in a cell that smells moldy, and perhaps more importantly, is completely underwater. Damp walls are covered with living snails and oysters that crawl around. There are sculptural reliefs of tidal waves destroying coastal cities and ships. A merfolk skeleton embedded in one wall clutches an iron sconce fitted with a burning red candle. You are inside of this room. You are not holding your breath. You are beginning to drown.
Can you send me the text of that in DMs so I can read
Yes. Give me a moment. Let me go ahead and I'd open up a tab for this. Not listed on there is that this room is completely underwater right now.
A sconce is like a place for a torch, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna grab 2 of those living creatures, and I'm going to put one on the sconce. And do you think there is a way that I could cook one of these, given I have steam fire?
Does your steam work without your magic items? As you will find that as you attempt to do anything magical.
That's a good point. No. It does not. So yeah, I guess fucking nom nom nom.
All right. One burning. What are you placing, the oyster or the snail on the sconce?
That's a. I suppose I'll put the oyster and then eat a snail.
Okay. You go ahead and you put the oyster onto the sconce there, and you eat the snail. It is difficult to hold your breath and eat the snail at the same time, so you've lost some of the air that you already had that was already quite so on low reserve, but you eat it, and you find yourself suddenly teleported into yet another room. You begin to choke. You are in a room that has no light, no sound, and no air. With your blind sight, you try looking. This is a fairly blank room, but there's another one of those skeletons embedded in one wall, holding an iron sconce with an unlit red candle. You are starting to suffocate.
Are all of my belongings like completely soaked and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Would I still be able to light oil on fire?
How would you ignite the oil?
Would part of my survival kit include a flint and steel, given I'm relatively proficient in that kind of tool set? Yeah, I think I'll go with that.
Alright, you do have survival, so yes, you rapidly, in a quick hurry, go and pull out your flint and steel, and you have some of your oil.
Yeah, and I want to try and put some oil on that, and then light that torch on fire very quickly.
Alright, very quick, rapidness, oil onto the sconce, flint with your survival, you succeed in short time.
I was going to say, side note, I also want to look around for sand, or rocks, or something like that.
At the same time, or just after this?
Well, I mean, it's blind sight, so I don't necessarily have to look, right? So, as this is happening, like, do I sense any sand? Is there anything like that? Or is it
there's loose gravel around the area. You think you could pick up, like, a small pinchful?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. You'd pick up a small pinch?
But yeah,
Pinch.
I will focus most of my efforts on setting that on fire.
Alright. And you do. As the torch lights on flame, it flickers before your eyes. You are teleported once more to a new room. The walls of this stone cell are covered with relief showing desert sand swallowing the ruins of civilization. You breathe in a nice, satisfying gulp of air as there is air inside of this room once more. A bas relief of a robed Medusa dominates one wall. It wears a stone necklace and an obsidian pendant, and clutches an iron sconce with a burning red candle in it. Beneath your feet, you feel the ground beginning to rumble as sand begins to fall from tiny holes bored in the ceiling. The floor is slightly shaking in response to this. The entire floor is covered with a thick layer of sand.
Would I be able to walk around? Or
yes.
Yeah.
Walking around, you go and investigate what there is. The room is mostly barren, outside of the Medusa's sculpture that's there holding the lit torch. You look over at its pendant, and it looks like it is stuck onto it. The sand continues to fall down from the ceiling. It is making it a little bit tough to see, but not past your blind sight.
Sure. I will. So it's got a medallion, you said?
Yes, it has like a pendant on it of sorts.
And I'm assuming I still feel like my magic's not working.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to grab a scoopful of sand and try and put the fire out with the scoopful of sand. And while I'm doing that, I want to see if there's a way that the medallion can be moved, or some kind of, if I notice any kind of mechanism, or something. It's a medallion, like something it's connected to.
Yeah, looking over at the medallion, you investigated shape quite thoroughly. It has what seems like almost like a hole where your hand could easily fit, but there's no mechanism on the inside of any kind. It just kind of looks like your hand fits neatly inside of it. From here, you're going to put out the sconce as the sand is falling?
I was going to try to put out the sconce, yeah.
Alright. You go and, while you were investigating, put out the sconce. And you do. Two things simultaneously happen. The first is, you hear a nice little click as it seems that the Medusa figurine has opened up somewhat into another chamber. But before you are able to get too excited...
Actually, before I do this, I would like to make sure that I'm taking as big a breath as possible, since I don't trust it anymore.
Alright, taking a deep breath, you find the ground beneath your feet opens up. The thick layer of sand that was just underneath you begins to fall, and so do you, into what seems to be two spiraling set of gears, roller pins, that are about to grind you up.
I can't grab the Medusa statue for stability?
Hmm?
I can't, grab onto the Medusa statue?
As soon as you lit the sconce, the pendant retracted. As for the you're trying to quickly grab onto the statue on your way down?
Yeah, is that possible? Grab the statue itself and hang on to the statue?
Maybe. Go ahead and give me let's see which check that would be. It was so sudden, so fast. That, and with the sand in your way, let's go ahead and see. This would be probably a classic amount. I'm trying to see. I think this might be, I think this is acrobatics, isn't it? That seems appropriate.
If it's acrobatics, then my capstone will let me auto-pass it.
Alright, without having to even try, you definitely catch onto the Medusa statue with your foot as the grinding gears below are just like a foot below your face. But with dexterity, you were able to bring yourself back up and see into a chamber beyond. It's much larger than any of the rooms you've just been in.
Wait, it was above the gears, on a side area?
The Medusa is now like a door and can swing open.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I will check that out.
Alright. Entering in, here's what you see. You see a sarcophagus in the center of this room. And this tomb seems to be filled with statues of terracotta warriors kneeling in neat ranks around the coffin. There are 4 aisles with broken pottery shards leading up to the coffin, whose painted lid shows a leopard with serpents sprouting from its shoulders. It is completely dead silent in here.
Yeah, I will do my best to maintain that silence. So I'm pretty good at doing that. And I will try to check out the sarcophagus a little more.
Yeah, before you check out the sarcophagus, over to your back here, where the Medusa statue was, you can see that there's a reflection there, and it shows you the entrance of the lava room where your party members are simply waiting as the lava there disappears, and the sconce in that room reignites once more.
Oh, so the room is reset.
Yes.
Okay, I suppose I will try and quickly go about it before they decide to, jump the gun and have a second person join in. So I will quickly try and check out the sarcophagus and see if there's anything different about this one versus all the other ones we've seen.
All right. There is a large amount of pottery shards in the way, but your stuff is perfect, isn't it?
Yes.
you know exactly how to go across these pottery shards to avoid triggering any kind of trap, or like any kind of noise. Making it all the way over to the center of the sarcophagus, you see that there is with your perfect trap skills, there is a little cord there that looks like it was able to trigger some kind of trap on the interior, but you were able to disable it with relative ease. You have the sarcophagus before you, with your feet perfectly planted to not make any noise.
If I trust that it's safe based on what I know, I will try and open the sarcophagus.
Alright, you go ahead and you open it. And inside you do see what you expect, which is the skeleton of a Jakuli.
The skeleton of a Jakuli. Is there any item that we would associate with the spirit of the gods that we've seen so far?
Yes, it looks like a small stringed instrument, some kind of primitive mandolin of sorts.
Okay. And just to be clear, I still have no magic, right?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, I will grab the mandolin. Hold on, wait, let me see if I have proficiency. No, okay. That would have been really funny. I suppose I will grab it, and I don't have mage hand, so I have to actually grab it.
Okay. You go ahead and you grab onto it. 6 shadowy serpents slither out of the mandolin and coil around your body. You hear a purring voice in your mind say, "I am not your enemy." But as that happens, as that's said, your current spirit does not seem to like that, as Ijin goes, hey, you know what'd be really funny? If I kicked you out. Which is exactly what happens, as Shigami is unable to enter, and Ijin literally kicks them with their feet back into the mandolin.
Okay, but I mean, I still have the mandolin in my hand, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I will hang on to the mandolin. Does anything change?
No, but looking around, you have a better view. It looks like there are 3 teleportation circles around the area.
3?
They all look identical.
Ah, fuck. Are they in any particular orientation, order, like around the room? Anything special about how they are oriented?
One is to the north, one's to the east, and one is to the south.
Are the terracotta soldiers in any particular orientation?
They're all around the room.
So they're all facing in all different directions?
Yes.
North, east, south.
Ijin in your mind goes, "Hey, I know I just kicked out your friend, but you should pick one at random."
I can't argue with that. North.
Alright, you head over to the north. In a flash, you find yourself in a room that seems familiar. The mirror room. As you turn back toward the mirror, the soul trapping, you see that it's still covered in the coffin. Nothing bad happens to you. Note that this entire trial took you a little bit, probably about like 3 rounds worth of time before you can return to your party, so we'll find out in a moment if they did anything during those 3 rounds.
Okay.
Alright, I'll bring you back, but you won't be able to say anything.
Sure.
Of the cosmos, shouldn't they be damage typings? Hi.
Hello.
Alright, after about 30 seconds or so, inside of the, outside of here, this cube of lava dissipates entirely, just like suddenly it just stops pouring, it falls through the pores in the ground, and the sconce of fire is still lit. Once more. Kyon is nowhere to be seen.
He did.
Well, do we try the Eye of Zoltek then, if we think they're dead?
I could try putting out the fire to see what happens.
I mean, I think we know what happens. You'd vanish.
What
I
if
could
we
see,
all
like,
went one
maybe-
at a time?
What I could see if maybe I can help Kion, maybe. I don't know. We could also try the Izaltec first, just in case.
Question: Does
Harry
trying
has
the
it.
Eye of Zoltek and it fail take up a charge?
No.
No,
might
in
as
that
well
case,
try.
we may as well. There's no harm in
Yeah.
trying it.
Yeah.
Alright. I think that means Harry uses the Eye of Zoltek to try to true res Keon.
Alright. True Resurrection. Harry, with their power over life and death, attempts to activate True Resurrection, and it fails.
Okay.
Okay, I want to throw a water balloon then and see if I can go help Keon.
Alright, with quick rapidness and Hare's like wits, you go and throw a water balloon over at the sconce that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
As you two find yourself blipped and out of existence.
Should that
And I'll
be
tell you what
the
happens. Note that as soon as that, like you saw last time, as soon as that sconce was put out, the entire room filled with lava once more.
Mm.
So, are you going to offer to throw the water balloon instead?
No. Bruno seems like he wanted to.
Alright.
What I'm going to do is... Does the lava just immediately appear?
It begins pouring, yes, with quick pace.
Do we want to try to, like, cover the torch thingy? So it doesn't get covered in lava?
I missed the half last minute.
I was asking if we want to try to cover the torch thing, so it doesn't get, like, soaked in the lava and potentially relit that way.
I can't think of any way we would stop lava from touching it.
Fair enough, I can't really either off the top of my head. Unless somebody wants to cast Wall of Force on it.
Anti-magic.
Right, never mind.
The lava begins to pour down. I will tell you what happens to you in just a moment, Bruno.
Okay.
About 18 seconds after Bruno enters into that room, I won't show this on the map, but all of you see, Keon turns around a corner coming from the left side.
Sheesh. Hello.
And you may describe to them, Keon, what you saw happen. I will go
Back.
and tell them what they see. Hello.
Hello.
You find yourself having been teleported into an unusual room. You find yourself unable to breathe as this room is completely underwater. The room smells moldy, its damp walls are covered in living snails and oysters, and feature sculptural reliefs of tidal waves destroying cities and ships. A merfolk skeleton embedded in one wall clutches an iron sconce fitted with a burning red candle. You cannot breathe, and the anti-magic is still persisting.
Okay. Sorry, so there's a lit candle or torch underwater?
Yes, along with a variety of snails and oysters all along the walls. Oh, and on the sconce, there is an oyster that has been conspicuously placed there in the flame. It looks... Do you have survival?
No.
You are not sure how long it's been there.
Okay. So there's a literal oyster inside the fire.
Yes.
Can I try and take it?
You pick it up.
Nothing happens, I assume.
No, it is yours. There's an oyster in your hand inside of this room that is quickly beginning to drown you.
How long can you hold your breath for again?
You did not hold your breath in advance, so you have, I believe, a total of just your con mod total amount, which is basically 4 rounds. Right?
I have
I think
1 minute. I have my strength score is 1, so yeah.
Constitution.
Con. So yeah, then I've got 4. Oh, it was 4 rounds, not 4 minutes.
I think so. Let me double check once more. I have rolls of suffocation on hand. For some reason. Yes, it is 4 rounds, because your con score is 4. So that's enough for free item interaction, and then, yeah, you have an item interaction each turn, and if you want to push for a second one in the same round, that will take a second, that full, action to do.
Yeah.
For basically a total of 8 item interactions. You have picked up the oyster from the sconce, that is 1.
Do I need to use an action to, like, examine it?
No, you would be able to just passively do that.
Okay. Is there anything special about it that I can discern?
This oyster looks a little bit cooked, having been inside of the sconce there for some indeterminate amount of time.
Is it open or closed?
It is currently closed. It hasn't been like forcibly opened in any way.
Can I attempt to open it?
Yes, opened it up. There's the gooey part of the oyster on the inside.
Okay. I'll eat it, I guess. I don't know.
If you choose to eat it, do note that you will probably lose some air in the process. Will you continue?
Oh, no, at least not yet. Can't cast spells. Can't use magic items. Trying to think if there's anything I can do specifically here. Okay, can I try and put out the fire? Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, cup my hands over it or something to, like, kill the air around it? Or something?
You cup your hands over the fire. However, it remains lit. You've exhausted about 4 different item interactions thus far to everything.
So how many do I have left? I have 4 left?
Yes.
Okay.
You feel your heart and body beginning to ail.
You said eating would also cost 1 interaction or multiple interactions?
It would just take 1, but you will lose some air in the process.
Right. Sure, I'll try eating it, whatever.
Alright. You eat it. Losing a little bit of air, you're struggling to breathe, but you find yourself teleported into a new room. And here's what you see inside of this one. You begin to still choke. You are teleported to a room with no light, no sound, and no air. Do you have dark vision?
I do not.
This room is completely barren of light.
But I am definitely standing on floor.
Yes, you are still standing on a floor.
Can I feel anything if I just stretch my arms out?
Like in all directions around you? No.
Yeah, nothing. Okay. Can I feel anything, or like, do I hit anything if I was to like prod around with my staff, since it's a little bit longer than my arms?
All right. Which direction would you like to do that in? Up, north, east, south, or west?
North.
All right. You head over to the north, and as you go about 10 feet, you hit your staff plops a wall.
Okay. Can I go like feel the wall?
Yeah, you feel it onto it. There's sculptural reliefs on this wall, but you can't quite make them out. You think you would need a better investigation to be able to do so.
Am I still under the effects of anti-magic?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Can I summon one of my cannons?
That is supernatural, yes. You would be able to do so.
Okay. And then can I have it use its flamethrower to try and create some light? Like, can I just, like, use its the flamethrower from the cannon to try and, like, create the light? Just, like, aim it at the ground or something?
Oh, I see. Yes, you're, like, using the flamethrower?
Yeah.
Interesting. Which direction are you using the flamethrower in?
I'll do it back the way I came, just so I don't hit myself or anything.
Okay, to the south. You use the flamethrower over to the south. You have probably about one interaction worth of air, but you see something very notable. Over on the east side of the wall, there is another skeleton holding a sconce. This one has a torch on it that is unlit.
Okay. In that case, I will try and have my cannon light it with a flamethrower. Might be a little
Alright.
overkill, but
Your sight is fading. You can scarcely hold your vision. The flamethrower, you nearly black out. And you find yourself teleported into another room and get a very satisfying gulp of air.
thank God.
The walls of this stone cell are covered with reliefs showing desert sand swallowing the ruins of civilization. Over on the eastern side, a bas-relief of a robed Medusa dominates the wall. It wears a stone necklace on it that has an unusual hole on the inside. Immediately upon entering, sand begins to fall from tiny holes bored in the ceiling, and you hear a rumbling noise under the floor. The floor underneath you has a thick layer of sand. The ground is shaking.
Okay. Can I go examine like the Medusa, where the hole where on the Medusa side of the wall?
Yes, it's over where it's where its pendant is, the necklace that it has on. Looking over, the necklace seems fairly ordinary, except that kind of like, you know where the necklace part is? It looks like you could fit your hand inside, but there is nothing inside of there.
Oh, so like I can't see anything inside, and if I put my hand in, there's nothing either, or I can put my hand in.
You can put your hand in it. You can see inside of it. There is nothing inside, but your hand fits fine.
I'll try putting my hand in, I guess.
All right, you hold. It's a comfortable grip.
I'm still
The sand
anti-magic.
Yeah, still anti-magic. The sand on the ceiling continues to fall. The only other thing of note in here is that the statue is clutching an iron sconce with a burning candle in it still.
Can I take out the candle and put it in the hole, maybe?
You try lifting the candle, it is glued onto the sconce. It will not budge.
Okay. I have some torches in my backpack. Can I try putting the handle of a torch in the hole?
Alright, you do. It's not a great fit. It kind of like wobbles a little bit in there, but it's fit and it holds.
Otherwise nothing?
Yes, otherwise nothing. The sand continues to fall. The ground is beginning to rumble even further.
How far up is the sand against my body? Also, keep in mind that I am a small creature, so I'm not as tall as a normal person.
It's not dominating you. It's not like quicksand, right? You can just keep maneuvering your feet over it. But it's like growing inch by inch by inch. It was like he's like almost a foot of extra sand at this point, and the ground is beginning to shudder.
When I put my hand in, I couldn't feel anything inside. It was just empty.
Yes, it was empty. Just it looked like your hand just kind of gripped onto it with no issue, and that's it.
What did you say was on the first wall? You said there was like a collapse of civilization or something? I can't remember.
Yes, on the reliefs on the walls, there are desert sands swallowing the ruins of civilization.
And then a Medusa wearing a necklace?
Yes, and that's the spot where your hand is fitting, which is currently occupied by an unlit torch.
Yeah. Does anything happen if I try putting out the fire on the candle?
Would you like to try to?
Yeah.
How would you like to do so?
I'll try and like cover it with my cloak, like to try and like like snuff out the flame how you would like put out a fire.
Yes.
Covering it.
Got it. You do, in fact, accomplish this. And as the torch gives way, two things happen. First, you see a little click as the door nearly opens. That is, this Medusa statue has become a door and looks like that handhold can be used in order to pull it open. But before you get too excited about it, the floor gives way. The sand falls through cracks as mechanical machinery underneath reveals two massive grinding gears that are about to tear you to shreds. You scarcely have time to react. The most you think you could do is just desperately reaching for the statue with an acrobatics check.
Oh, fuck. Oh god. Okay, well, I can add 1d4 for my Pact of the Talisman at least. Well, shit. Oh god.
You aim your hand toward the pendant handhold there. Alas, as you attempt it, the torch you had placed there was in the way. Deflecting your hand off, you fall into the grinding gears.
Mm-hmm.
You have died.
Fuck, I was doing so well too.
We can return back up to the others, but you can't say anything until they do something.
Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Alright, we've returned.
Does Bruno walk from the mirror over to us?
You wait. You see that after about 30 seconds, similarly?
I'll bring everyone over there since that's where I came from, so.
Alright, rushing over to the mirror wall, which still has the drape over it. You wait. How long are you willing to wait?
I mean, for me, it was, I'd say like 30 seconds to a minute. I mean, after like 30 seconds to a minute, we can try using the,
Did the lava stop being lava?
Yes, it did.
Well, then they should be here, right?
He's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead. Alright, I is all tech. Does it bring him back?
Alright. You activate the, Harry activates the Eye of Zoltek with their mastery over life and death. And my god, Bruno reshapes once more over here.
He fucking died.
Bro, I had to make a fucking acrobatics check. You think I'm gonna pass that?
You can
Yeah.
Flash of Genius those.
I rolled a 6.
Yeah, it was very funny. It was acrobatics and stealth, which just happened to be my capstone
Stealth?
features.
I didn't have to do any stealth.
That
Oh,
was the
I
next
I
You
round.
didn't make it
far.
that far. Yeah.
Okay. What is
Oh my.
what is this? Excuse me.
That was the last room.
That was the last room,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
It was the terracotta room, and the army sleeps in silence, so if you made any noise, they'd probably fuck your day up.
Okay, well, I also have +0 to stealth. Oh, I rolled great on that, but whatever. Those ones did anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as I got in this room here, Nick, Aqua said on the wall, you can see everyone standing over here, and the lava has gone out, but we'll come back to that later. Like,
I see.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine in the first few rooms, but the acrobatics check, I'm an artificer.
Wait, Aqua, was the north one just like, was that luck?
No, they all will
Luck?
lead you over. Oh, wait, actually, that is luck. One of them's a mirror, one of them just brings you, I'm trying to remember. I think it just brings you somewhere safe, and then one of them just doesn't do anything. It just, like, it zaps you for a little bit of damage.
Well, I guess in this case, should we give Nick Shikambi?
Oh yeah, true. You don't have
Nang nang anymore.
Oh, I'm not attuned to any of my items either.
No.
Well, I'm fucked.
You're not
You're
attuned
gonna-
to any of your items, and also you don't just appear with them, I'm pretty sure.
This is true. However, with Khan having learned how this works, I think it is trivial for them to retrieve them.
That's honestly fair.
Yeah, that's true. Given that it's acrobatics and stealth, and the rest of them are just the methods that I already know how to do.
Then we can wave how that works. You head over and ignite. As soon as you arrive here, the oyster that you had left on here seems to have been eaten by somebody. You eat something.
Yeah, that got me out.
That's
Enter
really
the-
funny. No, I grabbed an oyster and a snail, and I put the oyster on the sconce to see if it would do anything, and then ate the snail.
Oh, I just ate the oyster.
They ate the oyster you left on the sconce.
That's really funny.
Wait, so then how does Keon get through the room?
There was a whole bunch of oysters and snails.
Oh, I don't think it. I noticed that in my character.
I mean,
noticed
you don't
that.
have as
Yeah.
high perception.
Yeah.
The text that Aqua sent me, because as soon as it happened, I was like, "Can you send me that text just so I don't miss anything?" Its damp walls are covered with living snails and oysters. But anyway, yeah. So this was the empty, like no air, or the choking, whatever it was.
Yeah,
So
you notice that there's.
you have dark vision, right? Do you have dark vision?
Dark vision and blind sight.
Blind
Yeah.
sight.
You want to know how I got through the room?
I figure what you would do is you would use your cannon to make a flamethrower, which was
Yep,
supernatural.
that's what I did.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep, that worked. I thought that was clever. I was like, that's a
Yeah.
good way of lighting it. And they almost
Yeah.
ran out of air in here. They had
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
That was the
God.
last action they had before they ran out and
Oh
suffocated.
God.
I
You enter-
also in this next room, I couldn't figure out what to do. I stuck a torch into the hole on my stat on the Medusa's necklace,
Nice.
and then I
No
finally
way.
figured out what to do. And then I rolled a 6 on acrobatics, so that's the sister.
With knowing what about his functions, Keon, you simply put your hand in the handhold that is the Medusa's necklace, and when the trap triggered, you were held with no issue. The gears part ways after grinding for a couple of seconds, and you see all of Bruno's stuff down there in the pit.
I have a rope with me. Can I like tie a rope to the statue and get down there? I guess.
Yes, when trivially, you get down.
Okay. Fantastic.
You pick it up and return back before the trap fully resets.
Are you
And-
including like Bruno's body as part of his stuff, or did that fade when you got true resed?
There was no body remaining afterward.
Okay.
Oh my.
Hog.
All right.
Honestly, anything non-magical probably got destroyed in the process too.
Does that include
Okay.
magic potions? Because technically they're magical. I don't know about their holders.
I said non-magical stuff gets destroyed.
Yeah,
I mean, like
okay.
technically, I'm speaking. I'm wondering if their bottles are magical.
Hey,
Yes.
man, we'll take it.
Okay.
Does that mean? Well, I guess it doesn't matter since I can just buy a new one. But does that mean my healer's kit was also destroyed?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And I'll just buy a new one. Hey, I
Those
need
are,
that
like,
in order
really
to use
cheap.
the healer thing. Yeah, but I do need it in order to use the healer for you. Okay. I guess I need to spend an hour to reattune my stuff, don't I?
Yep.
Alright, well,
mean,
I'll see you guys
You
later.
could theoretically reattune to all 6 of them with Withers' mirror, but that's a lot of time would be spent just waiting around.
Well, yeah, but
I
I
mean,
feel like he
without-
needs his
if,
magic
If
items.
I don't reattune to my stuff, I'm
also-
gonna be fucking worthless.
He also doesn't get his capstone unless he's attuned to stuff. You get your saving throw bonuses based on the number of items you're attuned to.
I thought that was infusions.
No.
It's attuned.
No, the infusions is for like disregarding dying.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
See you
I
in
gotta
an
go.
hour.
Yep, see you in an hour.
Before you head off, are you touching any of the spirits?
Oh, you should
Touch.
maybe take Shagambi.
Wait, what? Why? Why not take
Because you don't
fucking-
have.
Why not take
You can't.
Rose
Saga
you
has
would-
Ankh.
Saga currently has Ankh.
Yeah.
I thought Unk refused to go back with Saga.
No, Obalaka refused to go back to Saga.
Oh,
well,
that's
not.
what it was.
It's because
So
it seems like there's some kind of like cooldown on their ability to join the same
Wait.
person again.
what's funny is, you could take Obalaka and attune to 7 magic items at once, but I think take Shagambi because I think Shagambi is just more useful.
That
Okay.
is an
Yeah,
option.
sure.
But we don't even know
Okay.
what Shigambi does.
That's true. But I think
Sure,
having
why not?
Shagambi's guidance would be more useful.
Sure, why not?
Given that there's enough spirits, I can go ahead and take the remaining one.
Which was Nang Nang? Or Obalaka?
Or one or the other. One or the
Yeah,
other,
so
honestly.
we'll hand her the item for Obalaka, I suppose.
So
Wait,
shall you take
Obalaka?
Shigambi or Obalaka, Bruno?
Shouldn't I try Obalaka since it's an additional magic item I connecting to?
Well, what I was saying is I think Shigambi's guidance is going to be extremely useful, and
I mean, Mirage can take Shigambi, and I can just translate, just like how you translate for Harry.
also though, if Alindra is interested in one, I'd rather she have what is probably the most useless one because she's probably not going to go attuned to it, you know?
That's fair. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll go with Shigambi then.
All right. You go ahead and touch Shigambi's little mandolin item. That's what it is. It's like a prototype mandolin. Reaching forward from the mandolin are a variety of serpents that coil around you. As they say, I can provide you assistance. As you are now benefiting from Shigambi's spirit.
Okay, that's not bad. The first part of that power isn't helpful to me. The second one.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, you could technically double cantrip every turn.
True. Wait, can I?
I mean, no, you can't. It would have to be a leveled spell, then a cantrip.
It doesn't say a leveled spell. Just of a lower level.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
I guess
cantrip
cantrips
is
are
not
lower.
lower level than a cantrip. So you could
Yeah,
be
that's
able
true.
But yeah, that's.
Man,
okay,
imagine
that's fine.
Zelka with this thing.
Any fighter ever.
Yeah.
That's 4
I never
extra
show
attacks.
mercy to evildoers. Oh god.
And I'm chaotic good, so that's great.
I mean, that does mean that there's probably one more vote for dealing with the villain here.
All right, yeah, I'll go hang out with Withers and his mirror and stuff.
For a bit.
Yep. I'll see you
All
guys
right.
in like an hour.
While you're doing that, Valindra will go ahead and request a ring.
Yeah, I will hinder the item that corresponded to.
I think Ilvalaka's was a ring, yeah.
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 Okay.
As they touch over to the ring, you see Obalaka's spirit infuse over into Valindra. They are quite annoying, aren't they?
Unlucky.
You see their eye twitch, but they're not verbally responding to anything apparently the god is saying to them.
They are now also risk averse and a slave to routine. I mean, that actually seems like Valindra in general. So nothing changed.
I mean, I think she's like rather lawful evil in general.
Probably.
So what's our plan for the next hour? Because I feel like jumping down here is like phase 2, you know, like that's kind of, we have to all be ready.
I'm pretty sure we could just fly back up if need be.
You perhaps send in a scout. Well, ideally one that can respond back as you look over at their zombies that are just shambling there. They bump into each other.
I mean, they could just send Mirage if no one else has any better ideas.
I suppose.
I think that
Yeah,
is a decent plan.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't exactly have very many ways out of things.
Do you have a way of communicating Mirage once they're down there?
Telepathy.
Okay. Do keep in mind that telepathy here works kind of on line of sight somewhat.
I mean, that's why
Or-
I'm up against the edge of the pit.
Okay. Mirage heads on down. Give me just a moment. I'll tell you about how they die. No, here's what they see.
By the way, Aqua,
Yes, that's me.
if Nick had hesitated longer, like, and wasn't sure what you have, just like when I showed up.
Yes.
Yeah, you were so quick on the gun. It was really funny.
Yeah, well, you know. It's fine.
You do have 2 death fails, just so you know, Bruno.
Oh, God.
Those persisted even after revived.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
shouldn't it
wow.
just
I
be
guess,
one? We only got one from the trap.
You got one from that trap. This trap. Well, Bruno already had one when they began to trap, and well, that one gives 2, so.
Damn.
Pain.
Okay, you go to washroom, you're back.
I've been living with 2 death fails since the beginning. It's
Years
nice.
of
Oh.
Hate is this track name.
Heading down into this pit that is 50 feet down, here is what Mirage sees inside of this room. It is quite bustling in here, you might say, as...
Aqua,
Yes.
unrelated, but can we have an ape corpse here? That would really add to the immersion.
Sure. Let me get you the...
Thank you. I appreciate that. Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Art.
A pungent stench fills this pentagonal room, the walls of which are covered with riveted sheets of iron. A wild garden full of sickly plants and rotting compost takes up most of the interior, and a narrow path hugs the walls between two exits. Jutting from the middle of the garden is a sprinkler which currently looks inactive. And above, of course, is the shaft. Let me show you what you see. Give me a moment. Mirage can see quite a bit here. It looks like there's a pathway that extends over to the west there, and one that extends to the south. As such. Oh, I guess you can see even further. You can see even further than I thought in the other one. There.
I mean, at least these pathways could fit large creatures. I mean, do we want to go further? Because if they keep going, they will go out of telepathy range.
I mean, what I was thinking is maybe you could just stay somewhere down there, like just so you could see him and just have him poke his head around. But that you're still able to fly back up. I don't know. It's just really risky because what if the shaft closes? It's really risky.
There's a constant mechanical grinding sound, but it permeates the air. It's from not from anywhere in particular.
I mean, if it would close, like, would there be like some kind of like sign we could see, like a physical sign?
Would you like to spend a little bit of time investigating it, Alabawa, as your investigation is quite good?
Yeah.
Okay. You investigate the shaft quite thoroughly, like the majority of it, as the party gives you like a minute or two to do so. You're very quick on it, as you're able to find there is no mechanism of any kind that looks like it would close this.
Does not appear there is any mechanism that would close this, but
Okay, of any kind that would close this.
magical or otherwise.
I mean, I could just jump down.
I like that you have the ability to fly down, but you jumped in anyway.
I mean, I actually can't fly. I just have fall damage immunity on Jorin.
Oh, okay. I thought you could
Fly
fly.
downwards.
It's like flying directly downwards with style. God, I'm
Superhero
Is,
landing.
Yeah, is Joran pretentious enough to do the superhero landing?
probably. Yeah.
Sure.
Fantastic.
I mean, I think it's called a 3-point landing, technically.
Yeah, but you wish it was worth 3 points.
Alright, so will you do so?
I mean, it's gotta be better than waiting a full hour and giving us like only half an hour on the last part. So, yeah, I'm gonna jump down.
Alright, superhero landing. Boom! You land with your knees and not your back. Jordan, you were down here now.
Should I perhaps follow Jorin? Seems a little silly sending people on their own.
Yeah, I'm just worried that it's like if we have too many people go down there, it's just gonna be like, fuck you, bye, and close the door.
Well, good thing is I don't have to land. I can just run on the wall down there and then run back.
Hold on, I have to make this look like paste. Delicious. It's like marinara on the ground.
Yeah. Wait, what is that? Oh, the axe speak.
Yeah. You didn't even recognize it at first. Like marinara.
I need to take my pain pills real quick.
That superhero landing hit a bit harder than expected.
Sad.
I'm
Yeah,
back.
I suppose I'll wait up top. I also don't know
Yeah.
how much sense it makes to send the two both kind of like supporty people.
I said I'll go down with Joran because I can always go up.
Okay.
Alright, Saga, you were down as well. Down bad, that is.
Wow, rude.
I mean, if Saga's down here, she can check for ethereal bullshit.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So, do that.
Right, you can wait yourself down. There are 2 pathways before you.
I'm like not really in front of my computer right now. I'm doing something. Can
Wow.
you do it?
Saga is down here
I
also.
choose the left path.
But I lost half their HP dropping down here as a result of needing me to do it. They head to the left path.
Lost a third death fail.
Okay.
Looking into this room, here's what you see.
I mean, these look like fight arenas, honestly.
The walls are covered with riveted sheets of iron, and the pockmarked stone floor has a large puddle of gray slime in the middle. Phrases along each wall just beneath the ceiling depict 5 dragons. However, Saga, you are looking through your ethereal link. There is no ethereal link in this room at all.
So any trap is probably mechanical.
No, it just feels like this place has been abandoned.
Maybe most
Like-
people aren't expected to get this far.
Maybe, or maybe there's not meant to be a trap here. Like, it just feels like.
You mentioned
lack of
5
one.
dragons. Can we get more detail on that?
Yes, each one represents one of the chromatics.
Huh.
Red, blue, green, white, red,
That was 2 reds.
Black.
black.
Red's an important dragon.
Yeah.
No, it's a dark red. You know what? Screw you. It's a dark. So yeah, black and red. Looking at them, however, the drawings and etchings on these riveted plates has faded.
I wonder. I mean, I probably don't have the history to know about like any kind of like dragon cults or anything, I imagine.
No, unless you have history.
Nope.
Nope. That dragon cult sounds like a thing that exists. It'd be weird if it didn't.
I'm just not sure like how far we should be going.
Sorry, you're not at the computer right now, you said, right?
She's
Sorry.
dead.
Again. You get used to it, I guess.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm not in front of the computer, but I do have history proficiency.
Yeah. There's nothing notable at any of these dragons. They seem very generic, and in fact, a little crudely drawn, even. There's only one other exit out of this room. Exit, entrance, same thing technically. And it's over to the left.
And this angle probably isn't any better though.
No, that angle's not much better.
Well,
Alright, Mirage looks around the corner. And what they see is some kind of mechanism of sorts.
it kind of looks like a control panel, I think.
Yes, it is like a control panel.
Well, that's not going to get touched. But I think they could probably... Is this still like line of sight for telepathy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just a room.
Inside of this room, there seems to be like a control panel of sorts on it.
I will say, like, I may not be like the smartest, but I feel like we're not supposed to be here, and if we fuck with this like further, we might face some consequences we don't want to.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on touching anything either. Like,
Well,
we could check
yeah.
out the other path.
I'll respond to Jordan to that, like, you may not want to, but I like buttons. Like, I feel like I should get out of here before I break my own rule.
Saga has which spirit again? Yeah, they go, buttons.
What do you think, Hunk? Should I touch
He
some
just told you.
buttons?
Buttons.
What is that? I just realized I could see that there's more at the bottom path revealed now.
Yep. Looking down, here's what Mirage sees.
Are those like reticules or pluses or what?
Oh, it's cobwebs.
No, I mean the designs on the yellow tiles.
Oh. I don't know, it's some kind of tessellation.
Well, where there's spider webs, there's spiders. Usually.
Unless there's something else webs. Lich webs. Imagine a Sarek, but he's also part spider. That'd be pog.
I think at this point we don't want to attract the attention of any things that put up those webs. Do we want to like head up and report back, I guess? Like, I'm not sure there's much else to do at this point. Except try to go through those, but I don't know if we want to go through those.
I'm gonna use the mirror of the past.
Isn't it yours on cooldown?
No,
It hasn't been a day.
we want. What do you mean? It's on long rest, not on dawn.
I don't think that
Wait.
makes sense for a magic item.
Some
Take
are
a.
on long rest, they're
I'm
not all
pretty
on
sure.
dawn.
Take a look.
It can't be used again until the next dawn.
Yeah.
Pain.
It's literal the last sentence of the item description.
I'm not on my PC. I thought it was long rest.
I mean, like, magic items in general always have like a specific time frame, not long rest, I think. I'm just looking through that spell I'm probably not going to use.
We love spells we're not planning on using.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't even work, like, because Commune with Nature says this spell doesn't function in dungeons and towns. I mean, technically it says this spell doesn't function where nature has been replaced by construction, such as in dungeons and towns.
You think this is a dungeon?
I mean, boom. Same thing, really, isn't it? Well, I feel like if we are going to go through the cobwebs, we should have at least everyone save Bruno, you know? I mean, I guess we could try investigating the sprinkler.
I should be able to tell how old the cobwebs are. No?
Maybe.
These cobwebs?
You've got tremor sense too, so you could probably like see if there's anything skittering around.
Yeah. Can I like do that?
Yep. You go ahead and well, do that. You go ahead and skitter, skitter, patter, patter.
You're gonna probably need to move her.
Yes. Give me just a moment. I was just checking one thing first. I had to remember something about what do you call it?
A creature lurking in the shadows.
No, it's I actually had to check the VOD about one thing. That is potentially relevant. Hey, look, the VODs are useful even to me this time.
Wait, what?
I'm checking the VODs for something.
I mean, you went all robot-y, so I didn't hear what you said.
I am checking the VODs for something is what I said.
Okay.
And am saying. Huh. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, sorry. You go ahead and use your tremor sense abound, and nothing seems to pop up. No living creature of any kind that matches correctly.
I mean, I feel like living isn't a requirement for tremor sense, just that it's moving.
But there was no moving creature about. Although, I suppose, Saga, you haven't gotten any coasters or some things. Okay. Yeah, you've just been there.
I mean, they haven't moved yet because they're not at the computer.
Yeah. So, heading down here, no, nothing pops up on their tremor radar.
Yeah, I'll move a little closer. Like, I want to investigate it. I'll try to do it, like, upside down, though.
I mean, if you go any further in, you're probably touching the cobwebs. And, like, things that make cobwebs usually have, like, web sense, so they can automatically tell when something's touching them. I mean, I feel like we probably should, like, have the others here if we are going to potentially draw aggro.
Draw aggro.
Okay. I'll just
be right back. Another option is if we're worried about triggering something we don't want to trigger without everyone down here. We could come back up and just try and do that optional area in the bottom right corner of the last floor, just now that we have to sit here for an hour.
The last optional area killed someone.
That wasn't really the fault of the optional area. That was Nick being a little hasty. Besides, like, would you rather we just sit here with our thumb up our ass for an hour? I'd rather do something.
I mean, I feel like with the 4 of us plus Mirage plus Harry plus Valindra, we could continue at least some
mostly. Well, no, I'm just mostly worried that if we do continue, the shaft will close and lock us down here, which means that Bruno might have no way of getting down. That's mostly what I'm worried about. And if that happens, then
haven't we had the investigator investigate it and say it doesn't do that?
That there's no way of it closing? That we're positive?
That there's no sign that it had any way of doing that.
Yeah,
there's
but magic doesn't necessarily show mechanical.
No, magic or mechanical. There's nothing that is closing us. So.
Like the shaft.
Yeah, and there's nothing, there's no mechanisms at all. Like, it seems like this is not really a room we're supposed to be in.
I mean, I do feel like this is definitely the way out. Forward. Both.
Yeah.
Well, we can't exactly go forward quite yet, even if this is the way out, only because, we need to wait for Nick.
Yeah, that's like, I'm just worried that something that we do is gonna block us off and then we won't be able to get back. I'm just worried about that.
If we wait for that full hour, we're gonna have like 40 minutes left to do the whole rest of the dungeon. I don't think that sounds feasible.
I don't think it's unfeasible to leave Nick behind.
I don't think we are going to be leaving behind. Like, all of the main pathways have never had, like, any kind of obstructions, right?
Yeah, but all the main pathways have not been a shaft in the ground. That lighted tunnels have been open hallways and a giant square room.
I don't know. It just feels like this is like pretty much you go in and you don't get to go back. So whatever we haven't done might be like the last thing that we get to do. Or the last time that we have any chance to do it. So
And I don't know
Yeah.
if we should be making decisions now, because, like, I hear a lot of yawning.
Yeah, it is getting kind of late, huh?
I am tired for sure, but
I'm tired
do-
for sure. I'm Jake.
I do agree that like we can't really proceed without Nick.
We can't
When it's
really
not that we
afford
can't, I'm
not
just
to.
worried. Yeah, I'm just worried that something bad will happen.
All it
And-
takes is just one obstacle that stumps us, and then all our time is gone.
Perhaps I could send in some of my zombies if we need some fodder to test something.
I am willing to check out a couple of rooms.
The issue is like maybe anything going down there will trigger something and make it so that we can't go back.
I mean, I'm pretty certain, like, Akko was trying to tell us that that's not a thing with that investigation check. Like, he even said we spent time on it.
I mean, yeah, if you're confident, I'll join you down there for sure. I just wanted to voice my
Take.
concern. What?
Just give and take, you know? One thing has risks, the other thing has risks. Just which one are we more willing to do, you know?
Come on, let's go.
Personally, I think we probably will have enough time, but
We don't even know what the rest of the dungeon looks like.
we
Yeah.
don't. But I would not be surprised if there is only a little left. Most of the things we expected to find in here, given the clues, have been located, so
We haven't seen, like, any plaques around, right?
No, there have not been any plaques nearby. Looks like Kion has descended down.
Yeah,
Lindra will join.
I'll come down as well, why not?
Alright, Big Harry. There we go.
Am I
So-
going to need to keep bleeding in places so Harry can teleport?
What?
I don't know if Harry can fit through these hallways, so I might need
They
to
can,
keep
they-
bleeding.
Yeah,
They
these are-
squeeze it fit.
Yeah, there's
Fair
not much. Not much smaller. But also, technically speaking, here you could use the artifact and just like teleport down,
Oh, that's true.
which is a really funny
no.
use of an artifact. I'm too fat to fit through a hallway.
I mean, there has to be something substantial to this place, right? Because there should be, if another skeleton on this floor, or at least so we assume.
Yeah, what if the skeleton's in that room in the bottom right corner? Fuck.
We found one on that floor. Shut up.
You guys having fun?
We're trying to decide what to do because we don't know if doing something down here will block you from getting down here.
Oh.
But at the same time, it's not really feasible just to stay up there for an hour with a thumb up our ass.
We could always call. I get them to rest down here in case of an emergency.
Wait, how big is Wither's mirror?
I don't know if the mirror moves.
Oh, right. That's true.
Why do we not just check this room out, see what it is?
What's the worst that could happen?
A lot,
Right.
but you may as well.
Shall I
Fine.
send a zombie in
Bruno
to see if anything
If
triggers?
Bruno becomes unable to join the fight, I'll just take over Harry.
Nice.
True.
Nick makes a new character that has just been chilling down here for a while. Like, oh hey,
Why
Yeah,
is
that's
Harry
6
in spiderwebs?
that 6 hour thing, totally a lie. I've been here for years.
You actually recruit a Sarax, like, disgruntled, like, younger emo brother.
Ugh. The zombie shambles bout.
I imagine it pushed through the webs with no issue, apparently.
Yes.
Sheesh.
They're just shitty webs.
I mean, maybe it's just like decoration on the map creator's part, and it was just absolutely nothing.
Or to tell you there be spiders, and that's it.
The zombie
Maybe
is fine.
It doesn't affect the undead.
True. Oh, we're just going in now? Okay. Sure.
I mean,
Fuck it. I guess.
if the webs would have procced something, it would have done it by now. What is that?
Here's what you see.
It looks like torches.
Not that.
A checkered floor.
Well, I mean, there's two things of note, I think. Something here, I don't know what that is, and then that.
It just looks like an empty torch sconce.
Oh. Yeah, that is. It's at the right spacing for that.
Yeah, it is.
This hall is choked with dust and cobwebs. Up ahead, flickering lights dimly illuminate a larging hall running perpendicular to this one. Where the two halls meet, words have been scrawled on the ceiling in dried blood. It merely says, "Awaken, Napaka."
Who?
Napaka.
Oh yeah, that's the one who has the blade point.
Thank you.
And what is this little door guy thingy? This
Give me a
this little
moment.
door thingy majig.
Yes, over there. Let me tell you what you see. It's a purple drape. It extends
no.
across the length of the hallway.
Oh no.
Well, I can think of two
Great.
things in this room that could do with some fire, perhaps. Maybe
Push
someone
the
could
curtain
firebolt
aside?
that, or maybe...
Wait, hang on, Aqua. Who the fuck is
Yeah.
Napaka?
Let me see if you know. Give me a moment.
I don't have religion, if that's relevant.
Does anybody have history expertise?
Yes, I do.
So does Bruno.
You think far, far back when you were talking back over to... Who was it? Way back in Kirsabal, Kyon.
Oh, the
When you were
birds.
talking over with Queen Maxinare, they mentioned that Queen Napaka was their great grandma.
Okay.
So, another lich for us to murder?
How long do... Wait, how long do Arakakra live?
Very short, I think. It's like 30 years.
No, they live the same lives that humans do in this world, because that's stupid.
Okay.
But
I don't think that they were Arakakra. That was just at the Arakakra place. There was like 2 human kids there, right?
Yes. One of them was Queen Maxinare, and the other one was Na, their little brother.
Mm.
Like, ugh. Should probably rewatch that episode. I don't really remember it. Well, do we want to try lighting this one from a distance? You could do it with Firebolt.
Well, I wanted to ask more about Napaka. So, if the time scale is right, then isn't that... And based on what we know about the Arakakra, wouldn't it be like she was ruler of Omu?
Yes, that would be about the correct time for him.
Okay. And
I mean, Omu
Would
is
that-
just destroyed, so she was probably destroyed with it, I imagine.
yeah, so basically, Sarak destroyed her along with Omu, basically.
And
You
all the
go.
trickster gods.
You go ahead and light the sconce over here. Gadoo.
Damn, it poisoned him.
I mean,
Give me
she
a
just
moment.
never turns that off
I know,
for her
I know.
damage mods.
Just like I never turned Sneak Attack off, it's just more convenient that way.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check something.
I'm wondering if maybe we shouldn't listen to the message this time because it's not a plaque, it's in blood. It's like Simon Says, you know?
I
It
didn't
didn't
think
say
it
a
wa-
Serac Says this time.
I didn't think it was a command for us to. I'm pretty sure this is just some devotee trying to do it.
Like one of like a Serac's minions trying to do a necromantic ritual in their spare time.
I don't think the
defacing
Seracs
their master's
minions,
tomb.
I don't know about a Serac.
I mean, Withers is in Serac's minions. So any minions of Withers are technically minions of a Seracs.
I just didn't think it would be one necessarily related to one of them.
Oh, sorry. I realized that there was more description of this room that I missed. Okay.
Useful.
Yes, I was looking, I feel like I'm missing something, and I was. Inside of this room, there are large puddles of gray slime spread across the floor in this gently sloping hallway. Candles flicker on riveted sconces, casting dim light across a sequence of sculpted reliefs depicting humanoids with bestial heads kneeling before a black star. At the lower end of the hall, a thick purple drape hangs, and at the upper end, the hallway terminates.
So is this Indiana Jones Boulder Trap time?
What if he's the one that wrote in blood?
Oh my god.
I suppose you do have your blind sight, don't you, Kion?
Yeah.
That would,
I'll walk around the room if I need to.
Yeah, I don't suppose that would prevent you then from being able to just kind of feel out the area that's behind the drape.
You feel a boar head, weirdly enough.
Not a boarhead.
I'll also use Mage Hand if that would be of assistance.
Okay, yeah, you like move it under the drape and then feel around. You get the impression there's some kind of statue back there.
That's not weird at all.
Like 4-arm horn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a demon that resembles that?
It looks like just a gargoyle.
Oh, like, well, that could also make sense.
So surely if it's just a gargoyle, it's safe to open the curtain, right?
There doesn't appear to be any exit door here. So like this does appear to be like a dead end on both ways.
Well, yeah, but exits have sometimes led to other things. Like, not exits, like dead ends have led to other things, like just opening up. So we can't be sure that there's not another opening somewhere. This hallway being so long is concerning.
I mean, it kind of feels like the water trap room, honestly.
We could always investigate more about the other side first before we do anything here.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is probably wise.
I mean, I was gonna say it seems lower risk, but then I remembered the buttons, and those are kind of setting off my danger alarm.
Buttons?
If I had to make a summation of my own, it would be that there's probably nothing much more beyond this floor either. After all, we have 8 of the 9 spirits, don't we?
And
we know where the 9th is.
Yeah.
So, man, this is probably like phase 3, I guess.
Final stretch is how I would put it.
So if we locate...
We had the 9th spirit.
If we surmise where the final location is, perhaps our opportunity for the 9th spirit could present itself. After all, if we find where it is and then it seems that there is nothing major preventing us from moving forward, then we will have some spare time to be able to work with.
Valindra, we know where the 9th one is.
Correct. I'm saying that if, say, for example, it poses a risk of injury and we needed some time to rest, we could do so before your friend has completed theirs, so that way we don't run out of time.
True.
Oh yeah, she still does know catnap, right?
Yes.
So like, if we do sustain injury here or in Papa Zoddle's room, we do have time to catnap before Bruno is done.
Finding exactly where to go might be invaluable information.
Sure.
Passing by this wall, I suppose I didn't mention, you would see all up a lot that this is a door that does not open from this side.
Oh, look, a door. Doesn't open though. No.
Does anyone? You have keen mind, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that doesn't help super much here, except there is one thing that you do notice, which is that the or would recognize. You remember how there was a spiral staircase?
Mm-hmm.
That spiral staircase would be. It's hard for me to reveal where it is exactly.
I mean, I'd say you could draw something, but the fog of war means we can't see that.
You can
Yeah.
just use your like arrow thing to like point.
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
fog
like-
of war.
Or like you could draw an arrow on a visible part of the map towards where it is.
Yeah, good point. Okay. It's south over here and left over here. So, right here.
Okay. But I do guess there's probably
Oh.
a spiral staircase around right here.
I wonder.
What was preventing us from going down further on the spiral staircase?
Nothing.
Nothing. We just never did.
Should we try?
We could. I want to see these buttons.
I don't want to press the button.
I don't either, but I want to see them.
I mean, if
Fair
someone could learn something from them, I imagine Sam.
Hmm.
Don't look.
But I am just thinking of the tunnel that nearly killed me and Bruno. I wonder if these move at all.
Whee! Here I go in the
This
butt.
is an unusual mechanism. It doesn't seem to do anything.
Is she referring to the panel?
No, to this area here.
But there's a mechanism in there?
Well, it seems mechanical, doesn't it? Silver
That is
rivets.
elevator kind of deal, you know?
I mean, perhaps like the whole room itself moves, kind of like the tunnel that Bruno and I almost died to.
All right.
And in here, I'm gonna do a full investigation of this and the back thing.
All right. Investigation time. And Kyon, where are you?
I'll sit with him.
And Saga, you're with them as well?
She might have
Fascinating.
fallen asleep.
Mhm.
Are you
You're with
being
them as well?
us when things are being fiddled with?
Yes.
Fiddle, fiddle. Okay.
Sorry, I'm here.
You know shit's about to go down when Aqua asks what everyone's doing.
Okay. You take a look over at this mechanism that's here.
I'm carefully looking at the mechanism.
You're carefully looking at the mechanism, and two things emerge. First, all about what you investigate over on the mechanism. It seems fully mechanical. Looking about, right, you see that there seems to be various keys on the mechanism that likely trigger certain things. You go ahead and check the left one, you check the right one, you check the one that's right next to it. You have, with your investigation, you would have more knowledge about this. It seems like it causes things to rotate. Certainly, that must be what it must do. Exactly what it's rotating, not entirely sure. As for you, Saga, you, with your tremor sense, feel that something is moving over here, actually. In fact, if you had to map it out, it would seem that there is a pathway underneath the mechanism that extends like this.
So this thing appears to rotate various things. I don't know exactly what it would rotate, but it would
So do
definitely
we think
be
that
rotating
this
something.
seems right here? Like, I wonder if it could, a new pathway might appear underneath if it rotated.
Perhaps. Perhaps?
I don't know.
Perhaps the entire room we were in rotates and it reveals more and more pathways.
It does seem like the lack of available pathways might be solved by them rotating.
Oh, I suppose that's another thing you notice too, all level 1. This is perhaps notable. You know, you're fiddling around and like looking to see if there's any nook or cranny on here. And feeling around, jostling onto the mechanical bits without like pushing it too hard. This star-shaped rod that's over here doesn't seem like it's connected to anything. As in, there's no mechanical parts, there's nothing, no rotating mechanism under it. It looks like it could be pulled on even.
That
So,
is
like,
strange. This
Is it a
thing
wand that's
connected.
just attached to it or being held there?
No, it looks like just a standard metal rod. The star on it is purely decorative by the seams. There's nothing magical.
I'm tempted to pull on this. It doesn't seem to connect to anything at all. Does it look similar to my scepter of getting possessed at all?
No, not at all.
I don't know what this is. I can't put it together. Should I try to rotate something? I can probably rotate it back.
Harry could probably cast like detect magic real quick, like as an extra
I mean, I
information.
just kind of figured
gathering.
he's always got that active because
Yeah,
he has.
Aqua said it's not magical.
There's no magical parts here.
This is
If only we had an artificer here who could tell us about these mechanical parts.
Yeah. I'm tempted to yank on it.
If you don't think it's connected on anything, I don't see the harm.
Right, that is what I'm saying. Bongo, thoughts?
Meh. Machines.
I imagine Wongo's thoughts on machines that they aren't any fun to destroy because they don't scream or bleed, right?
Pretty much. They seem bored by the machine.
Bongo doesn't like it. I'm going to pull on this. Is that okay with everybody?
Basically, I guess. I
Great.
mean, we're gonna have to interact with it at some point.
I'll yank on the rod.
You yank it up, and you see that the entire mechanism lifts up just a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Does it reveal anything?
You yank it up just a bit just to reveal a small little crack underneath, and you see that there is what seems to be like a stone tube of sorts that leads to the north.
Strange. There's some kind of tube thing under here.
How big is this tube?
Probably enough for a medium-sized creature to fit in.
Ah, convenient.
I mean, there were things moving over here, right?
Yeah, there was something moving there.
Mage hand that out.
Sure.
It's probably wise.
You mage hand through into the tube, and you find that there's something there. It's spinning. Why is it spinning? You touch further around at the mage hand. Oh, it's one of those skeletons.
Ooh.
Ah.
Okay, telekinetic it out, or do you need to see it? Oh, you got blind sight.
And I mean, I need to see it. I don't think blind sight counts for those kinds of effects, does it?
Are you saying if you had blind sight, you wouldn't be able to target a spell with it?
I thought that was the case. Yeah, if you just had blind sight, you would not be able to cast a spell that requires sight.
Yeah, blind sight wouldn't necessarily allow you to like break total cover into like.
Oh, that's right. Total like walls are still a thing. As a
Yeah, will also exist tragically.
yeah, if only we didn't. Then we
No
couldn't have
walls. No shackles.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, can I try to pick it up? Maybe. How heavy were the other ones, Aqua?
They're not that much. They're just bones. So 25 pounds maybe.
Yeah, I mean, my three mage hands have a collective 30-pound carry capacity. Maybe I could try and drag it out. Just like scoop it up.
Out of the tunnel you scoop. It just continues to spin around.
Well,
Spin, spin, spin.
Do we think the star has any kind of significance in regards to the Skelly boy? Well, I mean, it's a 5-pointed object, and this would be the 5th one, right? Maybe that's the last one, if this is indeed the final stretch.
I would believe
Stop
this is
that.
probably the last one.
Oh, sorry. The skeleton stops spinning. It's under villager's control.
So, should I try to rotate something?
I can't stop you. I don't know what anything does, so I don't have a better idea.
I mean, this is the only thing we basically can interact with, right? We got to interact with it at some point if we're trying to advance.
And just to be clear, Aqua, I was investigating these things back here as well because I'm not really sure what they are.
They seem pipes. They just occasionally splurt out a little bit of green slime, but are otherwise unremarkable.
Speaking of green slime, did anyone investigate that?
The gray slime in the other room?
Yeah,
I didn't.
maybe someone should. Although, maybe someone with more Arcana knowledge.
Hey, he's talking about me. Hey, Aqua, what's that green slime back in the first room?
Looking about, it seems you have history expertise. This slime, you've heard about it, read about it, back over when people were first working out with machinery, before they developed better mechanisms of sorts. Green slime of this nature was used to lubricate the gears of machinery.
And it's just
So
chilling here?
So it's lube.
Mm-hmm.
And what is on the left? Like, is it going down into the floor?
It's just splattered on the floor as if somebody had spilled it.
Did Aqua's internet just splatter?
It's just splatter.
Yep. I refuse to change my phrasing.
Wait, what?
No, the thing is, Aqua, we just heard it. It's just splatter.
Yeah.
It looks like you didn't hear anything about the oh yeah, you did hear that part. Yeah, it looks like somebody just kind of splattered it on the floor, like it just spilled.
So what you're saying is,
I wonder
Can I
if that
pick it
means
up and
there's
move it?
like constructs that they were gonna be facing in soon or what.
can I like pick up the green slime container and move it?
Oh,
I
you
don't think
mean
that's a container, that's a sprinkler.
yes? The slime is
okay.
it's like around here. You can vaguely see it on the ground. It just kind of spilled around the area.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of, like, what's in the sprinkler? Like, if anyone can see that.
Looking it over relatively quickly, Kion, it looks like it is empty of any fluid. It looks like at one point liquid should have been placed inside of it, but it currently looks abandoned and dysfunctional.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When you're talking about the green slime, I thought you were talking about this thing the whole time.
Oh no.
Because I saw the green inside.
So has Withers just been, like, neglecting the traps down here?
It's the forgotten part of the tomb.
No one ever gets here.
I mean, I kind of thought maybe it was, like, sprinkling water because, like, the things around here look a little more alive than the things around here. You know?
Yeah. Not sure.
I mean, we could theoretically end session here. If
Yeah.
we're
Can I
not-
grab some of that slime and put it in a jar or something?
I mean,
Yes.
I am tempted to rotate something.
You should
you guys
probably
want-
wait until Kion's in the room.
No, I guess I should show that.
That's what I was
I
waiting for. Since
I should show this.
investigating.
There we go. I revealed the tunnel where the skelly was.
Oh, okay. I now
Yeah,
have
you-
a jar of slime, green slime.
You know what would be a more dramatically appropriate time to end is if somebody entered that tunnel there.
Is that a suggestion?
Yes.
Which tunnel?
The one that's underneath the mechanism, where you picked up the skeleton from.
I mean, wasn't there nothing else in there?
No, I think there was definitely other stuff in there. It's just
Okay.
all we cared about for the moment was the
I thought it was
Okay.
just the nook with the skelly.
You can see how large that tunnel is. At the very least, it extends further, it seemed.
Sure, you
Shelby.
know what? I'll go check it out.
Alright,
Attaboy.
Alabawa enters into the mechanism underneath. Travels through the pipe over to the other side.
That.
There are a few things you notice as you get over to here.
It looks celestial.
It's a fucking Antikythera mechanism. Oh my god.
Oh, that's I'm surprised you know that word. Here's what you see. In order. There seems to be some kind of a larger mechanism here, with a large golden pod on the center of it that looks like somebody could enter inside of. Looking further over to the right, you witness what seems to be some kind of energy and gears rotating right there.
Ooh.
Further still, your sight continues. All the way down to the end of the hallway you peek.
Holy
And there,
Clothes.
right here, you think you got the glimpse of it all, but what? Those look like stairs that are descending downward.
Well, I guess we found the path.
Oh, guys, you should probably come over here.
Everyone's internet is dying.
Yep, as that is where the session will finish.
We're going to have to do some artifact fuckery to get our monkey and tiger over there.
Yep. That's fine though, that's easy enough.
Our monkey and tiger.
I mean, is that incorrect?
Yeah. Or no, rather.
Is that actually supposed to be an indicator mechanism though?
Is the what?
This thing. Is that what that is?
What mechanism? Oh, this one?
Yeah. This thing.
Yes. It looks very similar to it at the very least. There's a golden pod at the center that looks enterable due to its size, but otherwise there are planets that are orbiting around it, including a sun and the various realms that make up the material, the ethereal, and other planes, represented as orbs that spiral about it.
Interesting, because the Antikythera mechanism was like a Greek artifact, ancient Greek artifact that had, it was like a ton of gears inside it, and it simulated like the motion of planets and the moon above the mechanism, and then like the whole object like rotated, and it like simulated the solar system.
And this
And
one
it
does
looks
seem
kinda
to be
like that.
simulating it.
Huh. That's really cool.
But what could it mean? Find out next time.